All right. What is up, everybody? All our peoples on YouTube.com. How y'all doing? What'd you think about that game, huh? A little bit surprising. I tried to tell you, and BMAT did as well, that Tulane's a decent team. They are. I think they are a pretty good team, and in their league, they're going to win a lot of games. Does it matter? I don't know. So a lot of folks, I started a thread on the bunker Thursday, I think it was, kind of getting some suggestions about things we could do better on the show. And number one suggestion that folks had that I thought was a great suggestion, and actually my friend Brian, not Brian Matthews, Brian Harris suggested that I make these available in podcast form. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape it the way that we normally do the rundown, and that way I've got it, and I can just put it up either later tonight or early in the morning for folks that want to listen like that. So I'm going to go ahead and hit record on this bad boy right here. All right. We will now start officially our nightly work. It is 10:48 in the Central Time Zone, and we are going to be here for a while talking about Auburn's win over the hated Green Wave from Tulane by a score of 24-6. Brad says, answer the phone, JGT. Guess what? I don't have the phone on just yet because I wanted to get through some stuff before I start getting inundated with calls. And I love the calls. I love our subscribers, and I'm really looking forward to hearing from a lot of you all tonight. But I want to get through a few things first. Brian says, word up. That's the Brian right there that had the good idea. So, yeah, good stuff there. I do want to get through some stuff before we get going. First things first. I want to show you guys the stats. I've already got the official stats here. Let me pull that bad boy up right here. There are your stats for the game. And a few of these really stuck out to me. As you can see, I mean, there's a bunch here, and I'm not trying to go too fast for y'all. But the number that sticks out to me, third down conversions. Tulane goes 2 of 15. And once again, it was a lot like the Oregon game where Tulane came out and pushed Auburn around a little bit there early, and you're like, oh, boy. You know, because in that beginning of that Oregon game, I was thinking the same thing. And it took a little longer in the Oregon game because Tulane's not quite as good. But that first drive, Tulane was doing some pretty good stuff. They got up 3-0 early in the game. And then it's just like they got shut down. They didn't get much hardly at all after that. They did push in. They got 6 points, obviously, and got down near the red zone a few times. But when it counted, Kevin Steele's guys had those guys on lock. And, yeah, third down, 2 of 15. Kevin Steele walks away from that saying, excelente. We're really happy about that. Let's see if we got some texts coming in here. Jay Lee says he is ready for a little chat. So maybe we'll go to Jeffrey Lee. He's been talking to some recruits. I know Sharif Cooper, a very important basketball recruit, was on campus today, making it unofficial. He was joined by a few folks that I think are significant. And so we will fire up the Skype, and we'll jump right in with Jay Lee. Let me let him know. We've already got a bunch of calls that have come through. Let me see if I can hit up Jeffrey here.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice.
He's probably trying to call me right now, in fact. Live video, live radio. That's kind of how it goes sometimes. One of the suggestions that we had on the bunker was, hey, get Jeffrey and BMAT to come on, which we're going to do. Or at least we're going to effort to do that. And thought we'd lead off with Jay Lee. There he is. No, that's not Jay Lee, actually. There he is. Jeffrey Lee.
What's up, homie?
How you doing, homie?
I'm doing well.
Where are you located?
Are we online?
Yeah, we are right now.
Right now I'm live?
You are. Say hi to everybody.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, actually,
how's my audio?
I think it's good.
Okay.
I've even got a little thing here for you. So tell me what's been going on tonight from your perspective. What have you seen?
What did you say? I was changing.
Tell me what you've seen tonight. What's been going on in the recruiting world?
Well, I talked to the one guy I really wanted to talk to, which was
Sharif?
Mr. Tank Bixby.
No, Tank Bixby, of course.
And, my question to him was, were you expecting to see a little bit more rotation at the running back position? And surprisingly, he said no. I kind of understood that, he's going with a guy early in the season. And I asked him, kind of what his thoughts were on that. And this is one thing he said that was interesting. The thing that he said that he could bring to the table for Auburn in the running game was an ability to make a big play. And that's something we haven't seen a lot of from Booby. He's more of a ground and pound guy. He's not going to make a lot of people miss. He's not going to take it a lot of 70-yard runs, 80-yard runs.
That's right.
Which Tank is more apt to do. He's built more with some speed, some breakaway speed, some wiggle in his hips. So I thought that was and he also said, he's done with his recruitment, which I thought was big.
Interesting.
Not visiting anywhere else, locked in with Auburn, and looking forward to next year.
BMAT talks a lot about how Auburn needs to spread the ball around a little bit to placate Tank and to make sure he stays on board. But it sounds like he's coming to Auburn.
Well, and up until that conversation with Tank, I did feel the same way, because that was very important to Tank. And I think we talked about it last week on the rundown. That was very important to him. He had seen what Gus had done to Kerryon Johnson. And, we talked about these kids these days. It used to be they wanted to be the main guy. They wanted to be the one running back in the class. They wanted to be ready to start as a true freshman and carry the ball 30 times a game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just not the way it is anymore. So for Tank to say that wasn't a big issue for him was a little surprising to me. But also it was very, very good for Auburn in that I think Booby's had 23 carries tonight. He had 23. How many did he have last week, Jay?
I don't remember right off.
I think it was around 23, maybe more. But so that was very big, I thought, for Auburn to hear him say that. It wasn't that big of an issue for him. He thought he could maybe bring some more things to the table that Booby doesn't. And I think that's one thing Auburn's lacking is a big play threat at running back. Am I wrong there?
No, I agree. Although I think DJ might be that guy, and I know you have a high opinion of him as well, but we don't get a chance to see him.
I know. I really thought tonight we would
me too.
Get a chance to see him or one of the other 5 starting running backs. And even after, Booby fumbled again, and the guy we saw was Cam Martin come in. And, I love Cam Martin. He's a great person. He's a great guy.
Sure.
And he's got some uses, but he's not a guy you want to see take up the slack for Booby Whitlow when he can't hold on to the football.
That's right. And 3 fumbles tonight for Booby.
3?
3, yeah. He fumbled on the 4th down early in the game. He fumbled at the goal line, and then he fumbled later in the game, second half.
Oh.
So you just can't.
That one at the goal line, I guess. Oh yeah, when he tried to dive over the top.
So
he fumbled then.
He did, yeah. That was recovered at like the 6.
So what's been the kind of consensus tonight from your callers?
Well, you're the first caller, actually. I just went live maybe 5 minutes ago, so you are the featured person so far. Somebody wanted to ask you, how do you think Auburn's going to try to use Tank when he gets here? I mean, to me, he looks like a featured back. Do you think that's what they're going to try to do with him?
Absolutely. I absolutely think he's a featured back. I think he's tough. He can run between the tackles, but I also think he's going to bring that extra gear that Auburn doesn't have in the backfield with 28 back there. I think DJ Williams has that burst. I think, and he's built a lot like it. I don't think Tank is as thick as DJ is now. I mean, DJ's got ass and thighs, and Tank's not there yet, but he's got the potential.
He's got time.
Mike CB was checking him out.
Yeah. I know Mike likes him a lot.
Yeah, I think he's a feature back. I do not think he's a change-up guy. He's a change-of-pace guy. No. I think Cam Martin's your change-of-pace guy. Maybe Sean Shivers is your change-of-pace guy. But Tank is the guy that you're going to want to feature. And I honestly thought DJ Williams would be more involved in this game. And, I can't imagine they're trying to redshirt him when you've got the issues that you do this early in the season.
Yeah. Basketball-wise, you mentioned that Sharif Cooper's here on an unofficial. You'll probably talk to him tomorrow, right?
I will. Well, he probably left tonight.
Okay.
He's not a talker. He's not going to. We've tried to run him down before. But I will see. I will talk to people close to his recruitment, and I will talk to them in the morning. I'm going to get Jamin Brakefield, the 4-star guy from Georgia, who's coming over, who's here this weekend on an official visit. He's leaving in the morning. I'll talk to him, and I'm sure I'll come up with some scoop on Sharif. Matthew Cleveland also, I spoke with him briefly today. He's a 2021 shooting guard, real good-looking kid, 6'5", 6'6", maybe, who's over here on his first unofficial visit. I'll have something on him next week as well.
Excellent.
But, yeah, Sharif was here. His mother was here. His younger brother was here. Of course, they were, tied at the hip with Bruce Pearl during pregame.
No doubt.
Stephen Pearl was over there. Ira was over there. Wes Flanagan was over there. And so all three of those guys were getting a lot of love from the Auburn coaches, and especially Sharif. Bruce was basically holding his hand. Hopefully, maybe trying to get a commitment out of him soon. I know we've all been kind of waiting on it since back in June, I guess. But I think they're optimistic. They feel good about their chances. It's not a matter of if, but when. I kind of think that's where they are right now with Sharif.
Very good. Jeffrey Lee, good stuff there, particularly from Tank. Appreciate you being out there, bro.
Yes, and I'll have that update. I'll have his update up early next week, Monday. I've got some. And Darius Tennyson also, throw that in there. The official visitor this weekend. He was here with his uncle, mother, sister. Looks good. He's going to announce next Saturday, and all signs point to Auburn for that. Real good player.
Very
good
good
player.
He sounds pretty good.
We've got a lot of recruiting news coming out of this weekend. I'll start rolling it out in the morning.
All right, Jay Lee, you're the man.
All right, homie. I'll be listening in later.
You behave yourself out there.
Sure will, man.
See ya. All right, so there we go. Jeffrey Lee says Tank. Sounds like Tank is super, super committed, as we kind of suspected all along. And we got a call coming in. We got to answer this one because he just keeps calling and he won't stop. I know who this is. S-Town, what's going on?
Hey, so that was about 4 episodes. Hello?
Yeah, you're here, buddy.
That was about 4 episodes of S-Town tonight that I could have listened to instead.
Yeah, I know. And
I'm really upset right now.
You did a good job of calling, like, repeatedly, because, yeah. Mm-hmm. You gave it hell.
Get it in. To be honest, I think tomorrow I'll probably be less annoyed by this game than I am right now.
Yeah, and it was kind of lackluster. Is that fair to say?
Pretty fair to say. Hoping that, it's just something we build off of. I don't really know that we have any identity on offense, but I don't know. I'm not as upset about the defense. Everybody seems to be all upset about the defense. I'm not that upset by it.
Well, why would you be upset?
Still in there.
Yeah, I mean, they did well tonight, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, some of those plays could have gone either way. They had some lucky plays too, some lucky catches.
Yeah.
They were probably, outside of their normal skill level.
True that. What's the one thing you take out of this game, man? What really stuck out to you, good or bad?
Bad. Still, we still really don't have an identity on offense. To me, if we're going to be a passing offense, then we gotta come up with something different. If we're going to go to a running offense, then you got to get Gatewood in there.
Oh wow.
But, good. I thought the secondary played pretty well.
Yeah.
I really liked McCreary stepping up.
Yeah, McCreary played a lot
played
tonight.
A good game.
It makes me wonder if JD got hurt, because I know that they like McCreary a lot, but the fact that he was in there that much makes me think JD got hurt.
And it's kind of funny because Monday came in and I was like, oh, finally we get to see Monday, and he replaces, the senior guys, and I'm sitting there going, it's finally Monday time. And then he kind of blew that play that Rod Gilmore seemed to think he made a great play on the ball, and he just the guy just let it drop off his hands.
Yeah.
Because Monday kind of blew that coverage a little bit, but you can kind of tell why Denson and Thomas are still in there.
Yeah.
But,
hey, S-Town, I appreciate you calling in, and I want you to go out there and behave yourself and just be a good Auburn person like I know you are.
Hey, Hey, where do you think John B left his gold? I mean, I'm still trying to figure it out.
I don't want to
know.
comment on that. I don't want to give anybody any
All right,
tips.
thanks.
See you, buddy. S-Town. That's the man right there. I've been told through the text messages that some folks, you can hear these these text tones come in. Like I guess when people leave a message or I get a call that's I don't pick up. I'm working on that. I got to figure out how to get that one straightened out. We didn't have a problem with that last weekend, so I don't know why that's kind of a new thing there. Let's see what we got on the text here. AU Taxman says, S-Town doesn't sound very enthusiastic. That is basically the tone he had when he left his messages last week, professing his love for Gus after the Oregon win. And don't let him tell you anything different. If he wants to get on the bunker and talk a bunch of poop about he hates Gus, let's take this one. Welcome to the post-game show. What's up?
Hey, who's this?
This is JG. Who do you think it would be?
Oh, it didn't sound like you. I guess the YouTube video is a little bit far behind.
Oh, okay. What's going on?
Not too much. This is Jimty calling in for a little redemption.
I don't believe that. Is this really Jimpty?
No, it's not.
Yeah, I had a feeling. Who is it really?
It's Alpha Tiger.
Oh, what's up, Alpha? How you doing?
Not too bad. What did you think of the game tonight?
Generally pretty shitty, but they got it done.
Yeah, I mean that's about the general consensus. I thought the defense did what they were supposed to do. The offense did exactly the opposite of what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
The O-line looks like dog shit, to be entirely honest.
You said a bad word.
What do you think they'll look? Well, that's not the first time.
Yeah.
So, what do you think they're going to make any moves with Grimes at any point in time?
Like, you mean JB Grimes?
Yeah.
Like, what moves do you think are even available at this point?
Well, not in the season, but in the off season. I mean, obviously, it seems to be a foregone conclusion that obviously Malzahn's not going anywhere anytime soon. Do you think that he's going to be loyal to Grimes, or do you think that he's actually going to make a move and get rid of his boy?
Well, I think it depends on how this season goes. If they end up winning a lot of games, he's not going to take anybody's job away. Even if you and I and other folks could look at it and say maybe they should make a change there, I'm still not I'm not convinced that JB is a problem. I don't think JB's a great recruiter. I don't think that's not a hot take at all. But I think he can be helpful. And I know the bunker's really down on him, and they're like, look at this offensive line, and it's his fault. But I don't know. I don't necessarily think he's a huge problem. Just my opinion.
How do you think that offensive line's going to do next year with 5 new starters?
Yeah, right.
Not one of them is getting any experience this year.
Yeah, not very good. I mean, you're looking at a bunch of dudes we barely know. Tayshawn and Broham and Nick Brahms, and maybe Austin Trox will be back. And I don't know. The thing is, man, this group is supposed to be pretty good right now, right? And they're just not physical enough. They're just not.
I definitely don't disagree there. Let's get your early prediction for Texas A&M.
Oh my gosh, I take it one game at a time. I did watch some of that Clemson game today. I thought A&M was. I mean, Clemson's really good, and they were playing at Clemson. I think it's going to be a tough game, but I keep thinking about how Jeremy Johnson whooped that ass down there a few years back, and that I don't know. I'm not as big believer in A&M.
Tough last year too, though.
That's true. That is true. So I think it's going to be tough. I think Auburn's going to win the game, but they need to make some improvements on the offensive line, and I think the play caller needs to get it into his head that he doesn't have the New York Giants 1991 run the offensive line up front. Because like today, remember when he had the 2nd and 2, and then he ran up the middle, and they went 3rd and 2, ran up the middle, 4th and 2, ran up the middle, and Boobie fumbled. I felt like he was trying to send a message, and the message is we have a really good offensive line, and it's just not there. I didn't understand what he was doing.
Well, I mean, obviously Gus has always been fairly predictable, but it seems to be that he hasn't learned anything so far.
Yeah. Well, he got enough done tonight when we get the win, and that's, it staves off the Jackals for yet another day.
What do you think right now, what would you say the final record would be for the regular season?
Based on what's going on right now, probably 8 or 9 wins. I think there's a lot of questions to be answered. But, I mean, they're going to beat Ole Miss, and they're going to beat State, and they're going to beat Arkansas, and, he's going to declare those victories. And You know how it goes.
Yeah. Do you think Jimpy is ever going to make a return to the bunker?
I highly doubt it. I actually tried to communicate with Jim T the other day, and he has not been on the bunker for a little while now. And so I'm hoping to get to the bottom of this. I've got some very eager folks on the bunker who want to get involved with him in real life, and we're kind of working through that. Again, what he did was kind of shady, assuming that that's what he did, and I have no reason to believe otherwise. But we don't need to be posting pictures of his, not that you did this, but other people posting pictures of his wife and his kids and all that. Let's hold up on that a little bit, okay?
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
I appreciate you leaving the thread up. It's been quite entertaining the last week or so.
Oh, I'm behind it totally, because if one of our folks got swindled by another bunker member, I'm pissed off about it. But anyway, Alpha, you're a man. You do a hell of a job. We're glad to have you.
Have a good night, man.
See you, bro. Alpha Tiger. There you go. One of the good ones. Tends to raise a little bit of hell in the bunker, but that's okay. And he gives me shit sometimes, so that's fine. I deserve to get shit on sometimes. Going back to some things from the game. While we wait on a few calls. I know that Doc was talking about calling in. I just don't know Doc's number right off, but we'll take this one. Let's see what's going on. Hey, welcome to the post-game show. What's going on?
Hey, this is Jimmy thing. Happy holiday.
What's going on?
Oh, I just want to ask him what he thinks of how this offense is going to project for the rest of the year.
You're asking me that question?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shoot, I'm trying to figure this out because the offensive line is annoying. He tried to set this game up to really let them overpower Tulane, and it didn't happen. And I think until he gets either that fixed or he finds a way around that, I just wonder if they're going to be able to score points against the good teams. That's how I see it.
I mean, defense has carried the team both games so far. The offense has sputtered. I mean, the whole quarters. Both games at times.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, like you said, good teams, this team ain't going to win those games.
Not against the elite teams right now. In this game right here, I felt like I said, he was trying to set it up to where we're just going to overpower Tulane, and then it didn't happen, and he went into evasive maneuvers to get away from that, which is smart, and they won the game because of it. But you've got to be able to run the football against Florida and A&M. I mean, once you get to
LSU.
Georgia. Yeah, well, once you get to LSU and Alabama and Georgia, I mean, that's kind of a different animal, and it's going to take something special there. But, I mean, against the other teams, like the merely good teams, like A&M, like Florida, you're going to have to do something. I think it's fixable, but I just don't know how they're going to fix it.
Well, what my Bobby Whitlow is ball control. I mean, he's a good running back. He's good. He's serviceable.
Yeah.
But they didn't even try DJ Williams at all, and his excuse for not using him tonight, I don't believe at all.
Yeah, I saw BMAT. I didn't hear the answer, but I know BMAT asked a question about why didn't DJ play, because BMAT's BMAT. And
I didn't hear.
Yeah, I wish I'd been able to hear that. We're going to have BMAT on a little bit later, and he'll be able to tell us firsthand. I think some folks.
I'll be listening.
Yeah, for
All
sure.
right.
Appreciate you calling,
thanks.
bro. See ya. I didn't hear who that was. That's my bad. Sometimes I don't hear as well as I should. You know what that means? It means it's time for some more Weller. Hey, welcome to the post-game show. How you doing?
Hey, man, what's going on, Tate?
I'm just kicking it here, doing my thing. Who I got on the horn?
Jaywalker 72.
Hey, what's up, man?
I'm trying to have an evening of catharsis after performing my daughter's wedding ceremony today, so
Oh,
I need
wow.
to talk some football.
Hell yeah, that's what we're doing here, man. That's kind of what we do. What did you think about that game?
Kind of what was expected, man. I hate to keep having to deal with all the labels of the sunshine pumpers and the doom and gloomers. I just see the same stuff over and over again. Gus says he's going to do this, and then he winds up doing something different.
Yeah.
And it just seems to never change. For example, this past week, it was the running back by committee, right?
Yeah.
But what did we see? We saw the exact same thing that we've seen forever.
Yep.
And then people don't understand why we get frustrated with Gus. I mean, it just seems like it never changes. And so I've had several conversations with other bunkerites about this. And I keep thinking to myself, there's no way that we have all the information here, because there's got to be something, in other words, that we don't know. And so I guess my question to you is, what is it? What do you think it is that we possibly don't know and we aren't seeing with these personnel decisions, play calling, all the things like that? What don't we know?
Are you talking specifically about tailbacks?
Well, let's start there. Yeah, specifically about the running back by committee. Quote.
Okay.
All right? We've got 6 starting running backs, supposedly.
Yeah.
So what don't we know?
I think from his perspective, he is running a committee right now because he's running Booby and Cam. So he's like, I'm splitting the load between 2. And then he gets Shivers in there. Although I don't remember Shivers doing much tonight. He had some carries in the Oregon game. And then I'm told here, I mentioned this earlier, that BMAT asked him about DJ Williams and DJ. And Jacob, I appreciate you have my back on this in the chat, saying that he said DJ was hurt during the week. So maybe that affects things. So that leaves Malik, and I don't really know where Malik fits in. I really don't. And Mark Anthony Richards is out. And who am I missing? I'm missing somebody else. There's
Joyner?
Yeah, Harold Joyner. He was in the game, but I guess once he drops the wheel route, Gus is like, can't trust him. We may never see him again. I don't know.
That's another good point, though. I mean, so now is Joyner going to be that guy that when he comes in, all the defensive coaches know, look for the wheel route, because that seems to be what he only gets to do.
Yeah, he's the new Devin Barrett, right?
Yeah, right.
I know it's frustrating to watch, man. I know it is.
It really is. I was talking to A.U. McBain earlier, and I guess the thing that gets me is that I had mentioned this earlier, even before the season started, that I just have so little hope where the program is concerned. I see Gus with this monstrous albatross of a contract, and I don't see any way forward, not feasibly anyway, for Auburn to move forward. And then I look back on its history, since I've been an Auburn fan since 1972, and we're kind of where we always have been. And so without a really big culture shift, I'm just not sure that that what we all want to happen, the consistency, being able to actually maintain some kind of success and then capitalize on that success. I just don't know. It's a frustrating time to be alive, bro.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, at least the defense is pretty damn good, and you keep thinking they're gonna click a little bit on offense, and that might be enough. I mean, that's the way that I kind of keep it in my head. I mean, because they do come alive in these games. I know it's Tulane, and I know it's Oregon, but they do come alive at times and actually do some stuff. And you got to think that Bo Nix is going to keep progressing. I thought he was so-so tonight, but he's still really young. So
he is.
I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that. I commented on a thread where he was taking a little bit of heat. And my comment was that I'm not gonna blame that guy for anything this year. I mean, he's gonna make some mistakes as a freshman, and playing behind an offensive line that, let's just say, I think is going to struggle, especially against good SEC defensive fronts. He's going to have a hard time this year, and I don't blame him for that. I guess one thing that I think would really help Gus, and I don't know if he's capable, though, it's almost as if he refuses to acknowledge what his offensive identity really seems like it ought to be. I mean, it seems to me that with the more athletic run threat at quarterback, that really opens up his offense. It opens and makes it a possibility. Okay, so if that's the case, then quarterbacks like Stidham, who obviously has talent. I mean, look what he's doing with the Patriots. He's got talent, and so decide what you're going to do. Just decide your philosophy, and then recruit the players that go with that. And then here's another completely novel idea: play the best players out there. And that's, I guess, that goes back to my earlier comment about what don't we know.
Yeah.
Because for those of us who are, on the couches and in the stands watching, we see only what we're allowed to see. And these guys are professionals making millions of bucks to make these decisions. But it just seems, seems that the best players don't always get to play.
Yeah, that's true.
And that it causes problems.
Yeah, I completely agree. There's some guys I really want to see if they can handle it, but I think your point's a good one. What do we not know?
Yeah.
Jay Walker, I appreciate you calling in, bro. You're one of the good ones.
Hey, man. Hey, thanks, buddy.
Be good out there.
Bye, man.
Jay Walker's one of the good ones, man. One of the really, really nice guys we have on the bunker. So glad to have him on the show. I'm sure we'll have a call here in a minute. Liger was trying to get through earlier. I cannot wait to hear Liger, his take on this. And we're still here waiting on BMAT a little bit. Things I want to talk about on the show until we get another call. I made a little list here of good and bad. There was a lot of bad. I don't try to be negative. I'm really not, but a lot of things stuck out to me. 3 fumbles for Whitlow, and I don't know. Whitlow tends to do that. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, sir?
What's going on?
Hey, just recapping this awful game we played tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we're doing. Are you an auburnsports.com subscriber?
I am. Easterwood.
Easterwood, what's up, man?
Hey, big rub down subscriber here.
No, I know you've been shouted out like 3 or 4 times, right?
That's my jam.
Yeah. Your thoughts on this game were probably not great, huh?
Oh, yeah, this is like the running back by committee game where we run Booby Whitlow to the ground and he almost died again.
Yeah. He tends to do that. We're not going to do that every
so,
game when he does it.
So I was really impressed with Roger McCreary today. He played like most of the game tonight.
Yeah, so we were talking about that earlier. I wonder if that was an injury to JD. That's the reason
it looked like it.
Yeah. And I thought McCreary was pretty good. I mean, they like McCreary a lot, so it's not like he was just like everybody was panicked about him getting out there. They like him a lot.
Yep. The other thing that really stood out to me was KJ Britt again. He played a lot of dirty plays inside. It was not really like a hard-hitting game, but he did a lot of just solid tackling on the inside today.
Yeah, it didn't have the numbers probably that he had in the first game, but I thought it was pretty effective. There were some folks on the bunker saying they thought he'd had a bad game, but he seemed pretty good to me. I don't know.
And then that number 77 that Tulane had, the big old defensive lineman, he's actually pretty legit. Despite people might say we have a bad offensive line, but that dude's actually pretty talented for being a pretty big dude.
Yeah, well, I mean, Caleb Kim didn't get a lot of push on that guy, but I mean, he's 325 pounds, so.
Yeah, he's a big dude, and he had a good game despite how bad we played. He still made some plays and recovered a couple fumbles. So,
yeah. Overall, I'd probably give it a C+. I mean, they did win, so.
Yep, a win's a win, but still should have been a couple more touchdowns, and hopefully the injured players come back. So.
Yeah, Seth, got to keep an eye on Seth. I bet he's going to be out for a little bit on that one.
Yeah, Blue has separated shoulder, in my opinion, but I'm not a doctor.
All right, Easterwood. Appreciate you.
Yeah, you have a good one.
See you, bro. Easterwood's one of the good ones, too. Never causing any trouble. We got another call. Let's take it. What's going on? Welcome to the postgame show.
Appreciate it, JG.
Are you an auburnsports.com subscriber?
Yes.
What's your handle?
Auburn PCE, the 2.0.
Oh, yeah. What's up, man? How you doing?
Pretty good. What about you?
Well, I'm sitting here drinking a little bit.
I hear you.
That's what you got to do this time of night. Your thoughts on that ball game tonight? Are you pissed off about that game?
So I really have 2 questions. One,
yeah,
is Gus going to be true to his philosophy of if you fumble the ball, then I'm sitting you with Whitlow first?
Well, he fumbled it. He fumbled 3 times tonight. I mean, he didn't sit him, right?
Yeah, exactly. So Joyner, I think a previous caller made a point. Joyner drops a pass on a pass interference. Should have caught the ball, but I mean, he had the DB draped over him. But we don't see him again. And then Whitlow fumbles 3 times, and that's like a no-no for Gus. But he's also got his favorites, Cam Martin, Boobie.
Yo, he loves some Cam Martin now.
I mean, you can't straddle the fence. It's got to be one or the other. Either to play the guys you like or play the guys that do what you ask them to do, right?
I think that's fair, and that's something that Jay Walker was talking about earlier. That what do we not know? Like, why does he have certain guys that he'll keep giving grace to while other kids, like you mentioned, Joyner is going to get yanked on one mistake? So we don't really know that.
So my second question, and this is I'm really just interested in opinion more than anything. With so many receivers possibly injured for longer than just the rest of this game, Seth Williams being a big one. We don't know what Hastings is. I mean, I know they said he went back in, but is he really 100%? Obviously Schwartz can't catch one-handed. We saw that tonight.
Yeah. What is that all about?
I don't know. I was sitting in the stands, and some guy's like, you got to catch that. And I'm like,
he's got one hand.
Malzahn's got to put the right personnel on the field to make that catch.
I don't get that at all.
It's not that kid's fault. But with so many receivers injured, do we see more of Gatewood after what he showed that he could do in the last 5 minutes?
No, I don't.
I know Gus talked a lot about it in his post game, but pretty much everything he says just sounds like the teacher off Charlie Brown to me. So.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. He is not taking out Bo Nix. I mean, he's not, unless Bo Nix screws up.
Yeah.
But even though it makes more sense based on the personnel situation, maybe he ain't quitting on Bo Nix, and he ain't quitting on Booby either. I mean, 3 fumbles, including one at the goal line. I don't have to remind you guys, he fumbled at the MSU goal line last year too, and that game cascaded away from them because of that. And he fumbles a lot. I mean, he just does. And Gus keeps playing him anyway.
Yeah, it's disappointing that, and I know that it gets talked about a lot on the bunker, running back you and all this other crap, but it's disappointing that to have that moniker or, claim that we should have that moniker, that we don't have a starting tailback that's an SEC caliber back, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think Booby's pretty good. Now, is he a Heisman guy? No, but he's pretty good. I don't know. It's my opinion.
I mean, and valid opinion. He runs hard, and I think he plays hard, but you got to hold on the ball too.
He does fumble a good amount. Hey, PC, I appreciate you calling in, bro.
Yeah, not a problem. We're Eagle anyway.
Take care, bud. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out who this is. No, we're not going to take that one. I wanted to pick up Liger because I really wanted to talk to him. And I really wanted to hear what he had to say because, he's always given old Rice so much hell. I want to get over here real quick and see if we got anything on the chat. Chris says it's a conspiracy. Gus is holding out till SEC play. I seriously doubt that's what's going on. Pistachio says didn't see Papo much. He was playing, but that wasn't it. This is actually Liger. Let me get this one. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Yo, hey, you got to put that on mute, bro.
Put what on mute?
I don't know. Whatever's in the background.
Is that better?
Yeah, I'm better. How you doing, man?
Doing good, man.
Is this who I think it is?
Who am I speaking with?
You're speaking to JG Tate.
Jay Lee, what's good, man?
No, it's JG. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
It's JG. It's not Jeffrey.
You don't sound like Jay.
I promise I am. I have hair and he doesn't. What'd you think about that game, Liger?
Oh, okay. Yeah, man. I'm sorry. It's on a delay. My bad. Good to finally talk to you, man.
It's great to have you on the show.
Yeah, you probably know my thoughts already, but a lot of people don't realize this about Gus from his time back in Arkansas.
Yeah.
That always been a super paranoid guy, always been a X's and O's guy.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted to come in with a tandem of Felix, Peyton, and D-Mac and air the ball out with his boy Mitch Mustaine. And Houston had to take the reins from him, 4 games in. Just he's always been a guy that's been a system guy. He's going to do his things. He does have some personality cues. I think that just keep him from being able to see the forest of the trees. I like him as a person. I don't know. I just think that he's got a lot of shortcomings personality-wise that keeps him from being able to do what's best for the bigger picture of the program. I don't know. What are your thoughts, man?
I generally agree with you on some of this stuff. You got to put that stuff on mute, bro. I'm hearing myself in the background. I understand what you're saying about his personality. I do think I'm being nice when I say he's skeptical about things, and he believes in himself. He doesn't really have a mentor. And he got this far by just trusting his gut. And sometimes his ideas about things don't work, but I think he's doing okay considering the situation. Now, if you want to argue it's not right that he's relying on a true freshman quarterback, it's not right that he's relying on a 2-star, high school recruit at tailback. His offensive line's not great. That's all his fault. I mean, you can't blame the general manager on that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in an environment where we have to, in sales, you have to track leading indicators and not be, results oriented. And when you look at the leading indicators, the things that don't show up for, a year, 2 years, 3 years down the road, but you can kind of forecast where your organization is headed. That's one of the main reasons why I've been so kind of disgusted with what Gus has allowed to happen.
Yeah.
Like certain, decisions like a key person here or there each recruiting cycle over the course of, several years can make such a difference. And the SEC is a line of scrimmage league and also a quarterback league. And I don't see how you see the success that you have with Sean Coleman, a Greg Robinson, Reese Dismukes and a Nick Marshall and a edge rusher, D Ford, and you don't make that a focal point, or you don't bring personnel from your, stint at Arkansas State, whose first responsibility is to recruit, second responsibility is to coach them up, so to speak.
Yeah.
And when you look at that over a number of years and you realize, okay, no offensive tackles in the 2013 class, no offensive tackles in the 14 class. We follow up the Nick Marshall class with, Jeremy Johnson, John White, Tyler Queen. I mean, we've talked about this over and over, and it's just like you see things that indicate program strength or weakness years in advance, and you just realize, like, look, you can't afford to miss a year in recruiting, especially on the lines of scrimmage, and I think that we are where we are as a program because JB, I mean, you know how I feel about him. He is the worst offensive line recruiter in the SEC, hands down. Probably a bottom 25% recruiter in the entire country. You can't, especially at the line of scrimmage, man, you can't have weaknesses or basically zero value personnel at those integral positions in your organization and expect to do well. I mean, we're in the spot that we are because we haven't gotten the depth. We don't have anybody to replace a Nick Brahms or a Caleb Kim. There is nobody else to turn to.
Nah, your point is
it's
true.
Unfortunate.
You have a good point. I think they could have recruited better at certain positions. They do really well in some spots, and then it's really short in other spots. But that's kind of how it goes sometimes. And I don't think JB's their best recruiter. I don't think that Gus would tell you he is. He feels like he's got some really good ones, in T. Will and Woodson and Porter and those guys. So, I don't know. Disparity of groups, different things that he thinks are important. I do want to ask you something, Liger, while I've got you on the horn, though.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, obviously you and Rice tend to go back and forth. Tell me about your feelings about Rice.
That's kind of a loaded question to ask on the show right now.
Oh, yeah? Why?
Kind of baiting me a little bit.
You're right.
I don't think that he is, or I pray that he's not as dense as he comes across. But, I mean, I think he is definitely like Auburn can do no wrong. And so every decision or every defense starts first and foremost with Auburn can do no wrong, even if the same guy that he was bashing the previous year, who is no longer on the staff, now comes back and again can do no wrong because they are being paid by Auburn University.
Yeah, he does love some Auburn now. I'll give you that.
That being said, if he is a true representation of his online persona, then wow.
Yeah, but you can be pretty mean-spirited too, right, Liger?
What's that?
You can be pretty mean-spirited with him too, right?
Well, I can be mean-spirited with Rice. I mean, I think he does a good job of kind of inflaming the situation with a lot of posters, but you can only listen to dumbassery so many times before you're like, all right, this person is either like the best troll in existence, or I don't know how you walk around without a helmet on all day.
There is someone on the chat, Noah, thinks that you actually hate Auburn and that you're like an undercover, I don't know, someone you like another team. Your thoughts on that?
I've been an Auburn guy since Pat Nix to Frank Sanders,
All right.
93. My first lucid memory was watching Frank catch that pass in the swamp against the Gators back in 94. My grandfather was actually an Auburn alum, went there in 1957 when we won our first title. So Auburn has deep roots in my blood. And the thing that's most frustrating is, especially when I was a student there, it was, you go from 2008 seeing Tuberville, going through his, situation with the, Franklin, debacle. And then you see us go and hope that we have some kind of future. We go out and hire Gene Chizik. I remember exactly where I was sitting in my apartment in Auburn the day that he was announced. I was trying to study for an exam, and I just remember not even being able to focus the rest of the night because I was like, I guess we just can't get out of our own damn way.
And then he won a national championship, Liger.
And then Cam Newton comes on to the scene, and I'll never forget, I watched his first game against Arkansas State, and I said to myself, this is what people must have felt like when Bo Jackson was a student at Auburn. It was like you were watching somebody who just transcended the game.
He was good.
And I was sitting in the student section in the end zone where Cam Newton made that run against LSU, and it's still today ingrained into my brain as the most incredible thing that I've ever seen somebody do in person on an athletic field. And what makes me most frustrated is how can Gus see that kind of athlete calling his signals with the ball in his hands every single snap, and not, crave to have that every single time that the ball is snapped? Because so many of Cam's plays, similar to so many of Nick Marshall's plays, are when the play breaks down and no receiver is immediately open, and they just win the one-on-one matchups in the phone booth that make the difference between picking up that third and short or not being able to convert and having to punt it away. Like, people very much underestimate Cam's ability to fall forward, Nick Marshall's ability to get out of trouble with literally a phone booth's worth of space between him and the defender. It was a one-on-one situation.
Yep.
It was a guaranteed first down, and people really underestimate, and it blows my mind how so much of Gus's contract today and his career where he is now, why he is where he is because of that kind of quarterback. And it just, you see us go immediately from that to a Sean White, a Zeke Pike, a Jeremy Johnson type, a Jarrett Stidham type. And the only thing that sticks in my mind is as far as why a coach would make that decision, a stark change in the things that have gotten him to his seat, is because he's not satisfied with the seat he's currently in. He's trying to prove something to somebody else as if he's auditioning for a different seat.
All right.
Because this is not where he's happy to be ultimately.
Yeah.
And that's the way that I've always felt.
Liger, you're a good one. Sometimes don't really understand where you're coming from, but appreciate you being part of the site and part of the show.
Hey, I don't understand where I'm coming from some of the time, either, Jay. I appreciate you being a good sport, guys.
All right, Liger. Be good.
All right, thanks.
Glad to have Liger on the show. That's good stuff. He wasn't what I expected. A little drier, maybe, than I was expecting. Mike Fowler says he's asleep. Yeah, I wanted to give Liger a little time. Kind of a bunker legend, like recent legend, not like all-time legend, like Will Collier, or Tallahassee, or Hebe, or any of those folks from the long ago past. This call's coming in from an area code that I don't even recognize. So let's take this one. What's going on? Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Oh man, I got through.
You made it through. You got through for one reason. You have a weird area code. What's the story with that?
Yeah, this is Utah Tiger.
Oh, that's what it is. All right.
Yeah, it's a 925. It's in the Bay Area, San Francisco.
So what's going on, man?
All right. Hey, yeah, that was a shit show of a game. Sorry for the cursing.
Yeah, highs and lows. Lots of lows.
Yeah, it's tough watching that year in and year out. Now we're going on 9 years of this kind of offense where you see the dive down the middle and then the same type of plays over and over and over and over again. It's just like Groundhog Day.
Well, it is. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. He keeps saying he's going to spread the wealth among the tailbacks. He doesn't do it. The wide receiver situation we talked about all through spring practice or two-a-days, how deep they were at wide receiver, and then Seth gets hurt, and it's like, oh shit, what are we going to do now? It's a strange situation.
Only thing I can think about is, when you're you step away from a situation, you can easily call out what you're doing wrong, right? Oh yeah, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I didn't do this. And then you get in there, the stress of the moment, it just overwhelms you when you got that Peter principle, and it's just the moment's too big and he can't get out of his own way. I think he's a smart coach. I think if he was I've said this multiple times on the bunker. You lock him in a closet for game time, I think Auburn wins at least 5 more games over the last 3 or 4 years.
If you lock him in the closet?
I think we win both LSU games. You just lock Malzahn in the closet in the locker room. Just someone kind of keep him back there. It's the whole game. I think we win a couple more games each year.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I even confuse myself. Yeah, that LSU game, was it 3 years ago now? That was a bad one. I remember it been 2 years ago.
Yeah, there's been it's the LSU game rings are the worst. I was there with my dad. What was it? The game where Les Miles and Gus are both trying to get fired the entire game. And it's just, you watch that kind of stuff and it's a head scratcher. So, I mean, I think the SEC, the bottom half, you look at our schedule, we're going to win 7-8 games, even if we do the same thing we did tonight 8 more times. We're going to win 8 games.
Hey, we got a poster in the chat. Since you're from Utah, he says 100% Utah Tiger has 3 wives and he disappoints them all.
No, I got one hot wife and that's about it. No pictures.
Whoa, she's a hot wife. Hold on, bro. I know it's kind of late, but damn.
Yeah.
Are we gonna put pictures up of that? Can we all confirm?
She's we'll keep her out of this.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Only.
What are your thoughts on Jimpty? We believe that he may have welched on some money that he owed another bunker member. Have you heard about that?
I saw that thread. I think I saw it when it popped up when it had 5 or 6 comments. And I was like, this is kind of weird. And then I was driving back from somewhere last night and I saw it was 26 pages. And it's like, good grief.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a scumbag's going to scumbag. It's a shame he's an Auburn fan. But, hey, if he's listening right now, you're a dirtbag. Your wife's probably doing stuff behind your back.
Hey, Utah Tiger, appreciate you calling in, bro.
Yeah, have a good night.
See you, man. What a brilliant response on that, man. That is awesome. What a great response on that. I was really hoping to get Doc on here tonight. Thanks, Utah Tiger, for calling in, bro. Appreciate it. I really wanted to get Doc on here. Let me see if I can. I text with him some. So let me see if I can get up with Doc real quick. I would love to. I'd love to have Doc on the show. Some of you, the old-time folks, might remember. All right, we'll take it. We'll see what happens. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
JG, what's going on?
What's up?
just watched that abortion of a football game.
Oh, that's a bad word to use. Are you an AuburnSports.com member?
I am.
What's your handle?
NAAU fan. I DM'd you earlier for the number because I just was so fed up. I had to call in tonight.
No, I remember, and I gave it to you, and I'm glad you made it onto the show. So you were not happy with the way things went tonight?
No, I wasn't. And the breaking point for me was we threw it to Anthony Schwartz, and he had a cast on his hand.
That is a good point.
He had a cast on his hand, and we threw the ball to him.
And I think a lot of people were disappointed that he didn't catch the ball.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I didn't know what to say. I looked at my friend. I was watching with a couple of friends. I just looked at him, and I didn't know what to say about it.
That one surprised me a little bit, yeah. But I'm guessing that in practice he's able to make those catches. And
a good cast catcher, huh?
Yeah, he's a good cast catcher. Yeah. What's your big takeaway from this one, bud? Well, I mean, what's the one thing tomorrow morning you're going to wake up and take away from this one?
I just on offense, other people have said it, but we just have no identity. It's just you just can't figure out what we're even trying to do. He says all week that we're going to spread the ball out and give it to different guys, and then Booby gets 25 carries again. I wanted to see DJ Williams so bad. We just don't see anybody. And then when we see somebody else, it's Cam Martin of all people.
Yeah. Well, Gus is
it's just, like everybody else has said, we just have no identity, and it's just all we do is just the same old stuff. It just looks just like last year, just different quarterback.
Gus tends to kind of focus on his trusted contributors, which in this case is I don't think there's any reason to get away from Bo myself, but Booby, Seth, Will.
I don't blame Bo at all. I think he's been fine. He hasn't been spectacular, but he's been fine.
Yeah. There's some folks that think that Joey Gatewood should play more, and I understand why, but I don't. I think it's yeah.
He's a good athlete, and I can see why you'd want him on the field just because he's one of those guys that you just watch him on the field and you're like, wow, he's a good football player. But I just don't think I don't think he's been bad. I just think we got to get the ball. You watch these other offenses, Oklahoma, Alabama, and they find a way to get their playmakers the ball in space a lot better than we do.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of the things they do is not that special. They give them good players the ball where they can make plays. And we just can't seem to do that.
Yeah. It tends to be a problem. Hey, I appreciate you calling in, bro, and being part of the site.
I appreciate it, JG.
See you, bro.
All right, bye.
It's good stuff there. I don't know why they can't get guys in space a little bit better, but we'll find out in a couple weeks. Welcome to the show. How you doing? Oh, my God. You got to put that on mute, bro. I'm done with that one. We're just not even going to do that one. I couldn't hear anything. All I heard was like background noise. Are you back on? Damn.
Hey, JG.
What up?
What's happening, baby?
Man, I can't hear you. Or I can barely hear you.
Man, you got me right now, man. You hear me?
Yeah, hell yeah. What's going on?
Wait, I thought it was, what's going on, caller?
Hey, what's going on, caller? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, caller? How you doing?
Who have I got on the line here?
Man, this is Doc Dumpster, baby.
Oh, I didn't know that was you.
No, I'm joking with you, JT. This ain't Doc Dumpster.
Yeah.
Over in Sky Bar, man. We're throwing it down.
Are you an AuburnSports.com subscriber?
Yeah, man. We're subscribing.
Well, what's your handle?
Doc Dumpster, baby.
No, okay, whatever. Imposter. All right, so what'd you think about that game, though, bro?
Man, I think the defense looks great, man.
Yeah, definitely.
We look great on defense, man. That's the 20 years. Lot of questions on the offense, though, right?
Oh, there's a lot of questions on the offense. Like, where's DJ Williams and why isn't Harold Joyner carrying the ball more?
I mean, I think Harold Joyner's got in 2 times. He got a wheel route both times, right?
Yeah, and he dropped one, so that's probably it for a couple weeks.
Hey, JG, it's hard to hear you, bro.
I know, man. We're going to probably wrap this one up. Are there some hot girls there, though, for real?
Can't hear you, my man.
All right.
Hear you.
Keep good. Be good, bro.
War Eagle, baby. War
See ya.
damn Eagle, JT.
All right, we had to let that one go because he's just a little bit too much background noise on that one. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
JG, what's going on, man? Dope did that, man.
Hey, what's up, Dope Did That? How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm doing well, man. Hey, we got the W. That's all I can ask God for today, man, other than breath. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know you were on here on the chat kind of telling some people to chill out, though.
Man, yeah, man. I've seen some crazy stuff, man. I got to give it to Gus, man. He got us through another week. You know what I mean? Like I told you last week, as long as he keeps winning, he keeps his job, man. So
that's exactly what it
you got to
takes.
go with what you got, man.
That's exactly right. He won the game, and I think Tulane's pretty good. I mean, they're not like an awesome team, but they're pretty good. They're going to win 8 or 9 games. I bet you.
Tulane is a good squad, but 24-6 win over Tulane is not a win, man.
I understand where you're coming
all
from.
wins are equal.
I mean, offensively, I didn't understand what they were doing, and Booby was a mess. Booby fumbled 3 times. It's just not going to get it done.
I'm going to blame, like I said in the bunker, I'm going to blame Gus for everything. if Booby fumbled 3 times, that's because the discipline is not given on the practice field to keep that from happening. I have to blame Gus for everything. He hired the coaches. He makes the calls. If anything happens on that field, he's ultimately the last line of defense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do understand. Man, I thought you were kind of positive after that Oregon game last week.
No, man, I'm just holding my tongue, man. Like I said, as long as he keeps winning, he can keep his job, but by no means will that stop there, man, because we need a new coach, man. I was hoping we got Les, but somehow Les ended up in Kansas instead of back in the SEC. I'm glad we got rid of Jay Jacobs. So, hey, man, I say the future is bright. We keep getting 5 stars. Gus is the best recruiter we've had, not best head coach by far.
So you like his recruiting, just not necessarily his game management.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
He keeps 5 stars in. It's just, they don't stay. Like I said in the bunker, man, once Byron Coward and Dwyer left, man, I was sick. I was sick.
Yeah, I know Coward's kind of a weird situation. He ended up going to Maryland, and he may end up playing in the league. We'll see. Listen,
man, we've had him, man.
So Dope did that in the morning when you wake up. What's the one thing you're going to remember from this Tulane game?
That we won.
Just W and move on, right?
That's it, man. We take it week by week. We do not premeditate losses at Auburn. Callers, please stop calling in asking for the record for this year. We take it week by week. We do not premeditate losses. Let me tell it, we're going undefeated. We're undefeated right now.
Hey, man, I appreciate you subscribing to the site last week, so we'll see what we can do for you.
Man, I told you. Hey, yeah, I appreciate it, JG, man. Keep the great show going, man. I'll be listening in.
Appreciate you, man. See you, Dope.
Yes, sir.
What's Dope did that. He was a guy that called in last week just from the YouTube, and then he ended up subscribing to auburnsports.com. Hopefully, he'll be chirping up a little bit more on the bunker. I think this week he was kind of out for the week. He's kind of working. And then he kind of gets back in on the weekend. But that's cool, too. Everybody's out there doing their own thing. So you don't have anybody calling in. I spoke too soon, didn't I? Let's take this one. What's going on, caller? How you doing?
Appreciate you, man. See you, though.
Yeah, we got a caller here. What's up? No, we had to call that one off. Problem is, y'all are listening on the feed. You're not listening to the show on your phone is the problem. What's going on? Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Good. What's up?
Another day in paradise. Am I talking to an auburnsports.com subscriber?
You are. You're talking to Hornamania.
Hornamania, what up, bro?
Not much, man. Not much. Just recovering from this football game.
I don't know if you're my favorite Horn, though, dude.
Dude, I am. You're clearly.
Because Hornatius is great, and Hornswoggle's also awesome, so.
Yeah. I'll give Hornatius a little time, and I'll be your favorite then.
What do you think about this game, bro?
I think it's about what I expected. I mean, I expect the offense to be like, in sync or constantly doing well. But I think I think just not being able to just get up enough early to where it was a little more comfortable. I think another touchdown here, maybe early if they that pass out in the flats that hit a stove in the hands that he dropped would have kept a drive going. Maybe wouldn't have seemed as bad, but
What do you think about
it? The defense is really good.
Yeah, the defense really tightened up beginning there. Hell, it was late in the first quarter, and they tightened up for the most part all the way through.
And there doesn't seem to be like any weak spots on it, honestly.
So that was tight. Defense is pretty good. Nobody on the calls have been bitching about that, but they do wonder a little bit about the rotation at quarterback or at tailback rather, and why this offensive line just can't get a little more physical.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, it seems like they're better at pass blocking right now than they are run blocking. Even though their pass blocking is not great, run blocking it's almost like they just stand up and the running backs run into them a yard down the field and that's it. So,
you would think these guys, as old as they are, they'd be a little bit better.
Yeah, you would think.
You would think.
Yeah, but
what's going to be the one
Kent
thing?
State next week that may make it better.
Yeah, Kent State next week. Woody Barrett coming to Jordan Hare.
Yeah.
We miss Woody Barrett. He was one of the good guys. He really was.
Yeah, that's what everybody says. So I think I'm excited for that. Maybe they'll get a game where they can play some of those other guys. I think they Kent State beat Kennesaw or somebody 26-23 in overtime tonight.
Yeah, I know. They were playing Kennesaw, bro.
Who was it? I swear it was.
No, it was. It was absolutely Kennesaw.
It was Kennesaw. Oh.
You're not joking.
Yeah. 23 in overtime.
I want to ask you this. When you wake up in the morning, what's the one thing you're going to take away from this game, you think?
I don't know, really. Just, I guess, as everybody else said, the same old with Gus. Just, hoping he calls something, maybe a short pass somewhere that's not side to side.
Just gets a little hard-headed sometimes, doesn't he?
Yeah. So, but, if the system catches on and it works, then it will. I do think Bo Nix is good. I don't think, people get frustrated, I think, with him, but I think the incompletions he has, there were a couple tonight that were bad throws.
Yeah.
Few, maybe.
Yeah, a few.
But most of them are, him getting rid of the ball or.
I think he's going to be really good, and I think his day's coming pretty soon. It's just
you
got to give him some time.
Close. But should have a couple passes downfield. They should have called it from him, and a couple short ones. I know that one to last over at least that he should have caught. I think that'd have been fine.
Yeah.
So I feel good there, but
All right, bro. I want you to behave yourself out there, unlike you do on the bunker. And also, I want to ask you before you go, what do you think about Jimpty?
He reminds me a lot of Hornatius. So I think that's the horn you want to talk to about this.
Okay, that's what I'll do then.
All right.
Appreciate you, bro.
All right, man. Bye.
That was one of the horns. I'll figure out later which one it was. I love teasing him and telling him that he's my favorite horn. I'm going to go ahead and cut off Skype just for a minute because there are some things I want to get to here. And you guys know who've been on the show, things I wanted to talk about from the game real quick. Let's see. I did make a list of some things that were going on. Also, if you guys are checking out auburnsports.com on the front, I know we've got Game Breakers up, which is like video of the biggest plays, at least the plays that I thought were the biggest. I don't remember right offhand what they were, but it was like the catch that Wee Willie got the touchdown on. Seth Williams' catch obviously was outstanding, although it's going to cost him something with him out with the shoulder injury. But then Booby fumbling at the goal line. And Markel Harrell made an incredible play to come back and get that ball because if he doesn't do that, that's going to end up being it's going the other way, and it's a wasted opportunity at the one. And Booby would have never lived that down. And the other one was, I think it was Booby's touchdown on the double puller counter. That was a sweet, sweet design on that play. And a lot of the plays tonight I really wouldn't say that about, but that Wildcat counter with the two pulling guards was really dirty. And I mentioned that in the Game Breakers piece that, I think the guards, and we'll talk about Prince Tega. I mean, he's an outstanding player, and he's a guy who's probably going to get drafted the highest among all the players. But I think the guards are really good, and I think they're really good pulling. And I think he's going to probably see that from this because he called it again later in the game. Then he called a similar play with slightly different blocking again in the fourth quarter. I would not be surprised to see them start doing some stuff with double pullers on sweeps and stuff like that. I think that's something they can really benefit from. Other things I wanted to mention were bad. 3 fumbles from Whitlow. Where are the other running backs? I think we've covered that pretty thoroughly here on the show so far. The offensive line struggled to get going. Got better in the second half, but not great in the first half. And there was that drive where they got to 2nd and 2, and he did that tight end exchange where like the tight end and the H came across the formation, and then they ran it. Like it was him kind of saying, "Okay, listen, we're going to impose our will on Tulane, and we're just going to push them back. We're just going to knock them back, and we're just going to run them over." And it went 2nd and 2 to 3rd and 2 to 4th and 1. And then Booby fumbled. And if that was where Gus was going to kind of dig his feet in and say, this is where we're going to make a stand, and that was the stand, that's bad. I guess that's what he was trying to do there. I'll ask him tomorrow when I see him. But that was kind of a mess. Nix's accuracy is just so-so. Missed some throws. Had a great throw to Seth. I had a few other good throws. I know one, I'm trying to think, was dropped. They're starting to run together for me a little bit, but I thought there were a few throws that he could have been a little bit better on. And I mean, look, man, I'm not trying to be tough on Bo Nix. He's a true freshman, and they are totally expecting him to not be perfect right now. And you just kind of give him snap after snap after snap to try to get that learning curve up, you know? He's going to be good. He's not going to be the problem. Just got to give him some time. I thought the play calling was not great, particularly in the first half. And for the reasons I just talked about, that they were trying to impose their will in the running game. And I don't think they have the personnel to do that. I mean, I don't know as though Gus realizes that. And I would love to know what goes on in practice, because if they're going ones-on-ones, there ain't no way this offensive line's pushing Derek Brown around. There's no way that they're just locking down Nick Coe. There's no way. There's no way. I don't believe it. I'd like to see video of it if it's true. Good things. Oh, I also mentioned too much passing. I think Bo had, 25 passes in the first half, maybe more than that. It was just too many. And then Gus came out at halftime when he was talking to Ronnie on the AU network and was like, we're going to run the football. And they did. And I was like, this isn't going to work. But it worked fairly well. And they got it done. I don't know if it was good enough to work against Texas A&M, but it worked against Tulane, and that's really all that matters right now. And I think Gus said something about that after the game in his press conference, too, that they had asked Bo to do too much in the passing game early. And I think that's fair. They just got to get that straightened out. Before I go on to the good stuff, let me see what's going on here in the chat. Dope did that. It says, give Bo time. Gus has to give him more passing options. I agree completely. Lewis is just being Lewis. Dope did that against us. I'm blaming Gus for everything. That's fair. Brad says, I'm sitting at my computer posting on my phone. What is wrong with me? I can't answer that. That seems like a difficult thing. Noah is giving people the phone number and saying, call in, guys. I actually turned off Skype for a few minutes. I know you guys are annoyed with those prompts that keep coming up, and I got to figure out how to get that knocked off. We didn't have that problem last week. I don't know why it started up this week. Lewis says, hey, JG, did you see that Texas kid crying? His soul was being squeezed out of his eyeballs. No, I didn't see that. I was like, when that LSU-Texas game was like at its climax, so to speak, I was doing the game breakers and getting ready for the show, so I didn't get to see that. So I don't know as though anybody here is really panicked about Bo Nix, though. But I do think, and there's some criticisms here in the chat about maybe when he flees pressure, he could go up into the pocket instead of going out wide and kind of getting out away from where his blockers are. So that's something I think he could probably work on. Jeffrey Lee was big on that. The rundown we did Tuesday, he mentioned that several times. So Third World God says, who gets fired over the clock not working? Yeah, that's a great question. I'd like to know what's going on with that. Gus was losing his mind over that. And I don't blame him, because that first drive was ruined because of it. They were getting going, and he was ready to go, and they were having to stop because of the game clock. And he's like, that's something we can control. Yeah, I hear you. Jesse says, LOL, Gus's play calling is nothing but inside zone, PA deep ball. He's not wrong. They did some different stuff. I thought the Wildcat with the two pullers was kind of cool. And they were definitely trying to get, I thought they went out of their way to try to get Eli involved today. And I think Eli Stove's a good player, but I'm not sure I don't know if he's exactly what Gus thinks he is. I don't know. Like, he looks at that guy and thinks he's like superstar slot receiver, and I'm not sure. Maybe he is. I don't know. Because he made it. So if you remember last week, and I think, no, I didn't actually do this play, but it was the end around. They gave the ball on the jet to Eli, and he turned into like a 30-yard gain. But he had an alley there where if he was at full speed or if he was really fast, he would have been able to pull away for a touchdown, and he didn't do it. And then Gus on Tuesday was like, "Well, he's not at 100%." I'm like, "Well, obviously." But if he's not at 100%, then don't expect him to be 100%. I don't know. Seems like that could have been something for Anthony Schwartz. It's the one thing he could do. Mike says, awful play calling, Jay. I know. Some of the play calls were terrible. I thought in the first half he wasn't very good. There's too much passing. You say, well, the offensive line's not very good. Yeah, but you can't have Bo Nix throwing 25 passes a half. It's just not who he is yet. If you want to do it next year, maybe, but not right now. Grindhard says, DJ Williams, is he the next Asa Martin? I hope not. I still feel like Asa Martin's going to be a player. He's at Memphis now. Not going to play this year, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Asa pop up. I think he's a good player. He's a great high school player. Played at a high level, Austin High School. Alma mater of my friend Josh Moon. Mike Arnett asks, why not many RPOs Nix can run? I know. They kind of de-emphasized Nix as a runner tonight, right? He had some critical runs, I thought, designed runs, or at least, read option runs in the Oregon game. But we didn't see nearly as much of that. Lewis says, Brahms can't possibly be worse than Kim. Oh, I don't know about that. My thought on Caleb Kim, the center, is that he's not necessarily a great individual player. I think we can all kind of surmise that, but I think the line plays better with him in there because he communicates well. He knows what to call out. He understands the strategy of what's going on. I just think physically he doesn't have the pop and the push that you want from a center. Not hating on him. It's not his fault. He's been busting his ass for all these years trying to be the best player that he can be. I remember when I first got here at auburnsports.com, Jay Collins was playing middle linebacker like every snap, and everybody was giving him hell and saying Jay Collins not good enough. And I'm like, this is not a Jay Collins problem. This is a Auburn coach's problem because Jake's busting his ass. And if he's not good enough, that's not his fault. Just saying. Love the Cat says, put your damn phone back on the hook. I don't need you back on the air, bro. Grind hard, thank you. He says, I saw Brahms start with my own eyes against Mississippi State, and he was not very good. Yeah, but he was pretty young last year. He's got another year ahead of him now. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Power Man says, USC's true freshman is throwing it all over the yard. Why not Bo? I don't know. Bo, he was pretty good tonight, right? Let me look at the stats here. 19 of 37, yeah. 207, one touchdown, no picks. Tends to kind of focus in on Will Hastings, which I don't blame him. Will Hastings is a pretty reliable pass catcher. Seth Williams only had one catch. The one catch for 40. How about that, huh? Brian Harbach, who was a big-time chat guy last week, jumping in now, says he's drunk in Cali. Glad to have you here. We are now officially 1 hour and 18 minutes into the actual recording. I think live we're like 125. It's 12:06 a.m. in the Central Time Zone, 1:06 a.m. in the Eastern Time Zone. I'm going to go ahead and probably fire up Skype and see what happens. I haven't heard from BMAT tonight. I'm surprised. Thought might be able to get BMAT in here. So we'll see what happens. Oh, I got a text from somebody. Let's see. Who are you? Oh, hey, what's up, bro? I know who that is. I won't say who it is, though. Sometimes in the Rivals universe, I have to work with folks. I like to. I have friends of mine that are at the other sites, places that you guys don't want to go, whether that be the Alabama side or the Georgia side or whatever. But I help them because they help me and they're good folks. We're in the same network. Let's take this call. They're from this area. What's going on? Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, JG? It's MD Harold again.
Hey, how you doing, bro?
Doing good, man. How are you?
You got a lot of background noise. What's going on? Are you like in a warehouse?
Let me see what I can do about that. Give me 1 second.
Oh, okay. We're good.
Is that any better?
Any better? It is better. How you doing, brother?
Doing good, man. How's your night going?
Well, I mean, I've been drinking this Weller Antique 107, and it's been good.
All right.
What have you been drinking?
I'm just going to be brief. Oh, go ahead.
What have you been drinking?
Well, I don't drink, man.
Oh, well, hell, then you're probably drinking water.
Yeah. Yeah,
What'd you think about that game, bro?
Yeah, I haven't. I think everybody's pretty much sliced and diced this game, appropriately. Not to be cliche, but it is what it is. I think that, it's maddening. It really is, because I honestly believe that there is a lot of potential with Gus. I know that's kind of, contrary to many people's opinion, but you occasionally see some flashes of that, and you think there's some hope, and then he just goes back to the same old ways, and it's kind of befuddling and frustrating, but at this point, I guess it should be surprising. But I did really want to just touch on a couple things. Is number one, I know I've heard a lot tonight about identity, and of course Gus, if you ask him, he's always going to say they're a two-back play action offense, and so I don't know, honestly, from the first two games, other than defense, I guess I don't know what you build off of. I don't really know what they've got going well that they can actually build from and use as a cornerstone, which is a little worrying, quite frankly, for moving forward. But so I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how that kind of plays out the next game or two. And I don't know, honestly, Bo Nix, I think, would do real good in an air raid type offense. And I think maybe some of that is a limitation of Gus's offensive route tree. And, it seems like he has some very, specific ideas about the types of routes he wants. And this route should be here at this, particular juncture. And I don't know if there's a lot of flexibility to kind of run a gunslinger type offense, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know if that's really his thing, but I hear what you're saying. I if Bo was going to be in a air raid offense, he would need to be a little more accurate, I think. But he's got some very specific routes that he's really good at, and I mean, he's a true freshman. There's very few teams in the country that are relying on a true freshman to be their quarterback right now. There's like, what, 5 or 6?
Oh yeah.
It's just it's tough.
No, I'm Team Nix. I believe in him. I like what I see out of him, and of course, some of the issues he ran into tonight is, and other quarterbacks did ran into it last year. When you try to target Wee Willie, on a corner route or something, that's just a bad route for him because he's so small.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to jump that well, at least when competing for the ball. And so he's kind of a niche player, and so I don't know, Seth Williams going out, but then Matthew Hill showed up, and he actually caught a pass there when Wee Willie went out, and I think Shanker got involved too. So again, that's just part of the frustration of Gus, right? Is, why aren't these guys, why isn't the tight end, et cetera, more involved earlier in the games? But real quickly, man, I just want to say on the Gatewood situation, look, I think people need to pump the brakes on calling for Gatewood, because you saw him at the end against a gassed Tulane. Not to say that, he doesn't have talent. Obviously, he has great talent running the ball. But, we haven't seen him really, other than maybe A-Day, we haven't really seen him throw the ball, which is kind of ties into another frustration of Gus, like last year where he would bring Malik in and he would only let him run.
Yeah.
And so, Gatewood tonight, it would have been nice to see him throw the ball a couple times.
That's the problem.
But, until I see what Gatewood could do throwing, and based on what you guys have reported and others have reported, Nix is clearly the better passer. And so I did hear one guy kind of comment, I can't remember his YouTube channel, but he kind of said that he thought the quarterback competition would come down to who has the better secondary asset. Like for Joey, his best asset is running.
Yeah.
Bo's is passing. And then, the secondary, how good is Joey's passing? How good is Bo's running? And at this point, we've seen Bo's a pretty good runner, I think, all things considered.
Yeah, they need to give more chances, probably. I mean, honestly, he didn't run very much tonight.
Yeah, and that probably could have, quite frankly, hindered the offense tonight.
Could have.
I mean, if you can just kind of disregard him as anything more than a token carry every now and then, it limits your offense. And but anyway, man, I'm gonna run, and just wanted to pop in for a minute, and I appreciate the fact that you're doing these shows, and I appreciated Jay Walker's call. Thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Earlier, so
he's the man, dude.
Anyway, like I said last week, Gus just has to prove it. At this point, you're just kind of game by game hoping for the best if you're an Auburn fan, as far as I'm concerned.
All right, man. Appreciate you, MD Harrell.
All right, bro.
Be good.
See you later.
We got another call coming in. Let's take this one. Let's do it, MD Harrell. Appreciate you calling in, bro. What's going on? Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Hello, Jay. How are you?
Hello. How are you?
It's Power Man.
Power Man, what up, bro? It's great to have you on the show again.
Yeah, man. So, if you watched the other Tigers, the LSU Tigers today versus what we watched today,
yes,
it's totally different. It's totally different. And
well, yeah, they run a totally different offense.
Do what?
They run a totally different offense. They're like wide open, 5 spread, everybody going wild, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we should think about it. Because and if you're watching, and I keep putting it in the comments on the YouTube channel, that the USC true freshman, he's throwing it all over the yard and he's making good throws. And I don't know, maybe it's the scheme. Maybe we're just, I don't know. It's just not. That was not a good performance today.
But you're not mad at Bo, right?
About the quarterback and all that kind of thing. And I think Bo is more than talented enough to be incredibly successful, and he's just not being put in the situation to do it.
I mean, you're not mad at Bo, right?
No, not at all.
Nobody's mad at Bo. They're mad at Gus. They're mad at Gus because the offensive line's not strong enough, and some of the play calling's weird. Is that pretty much how it comes down to it?
Yeah. And is the offensive line the problem, or does the defense know exactly what we're going to do, and they can slant or do whatever they're going to do and make impossible blocks for the offensive line?
Yeah, that's a little bit of it, and I think Bo needs to get better at the cadence. I think they're getting some unusually good jumps. Oregon was really good about that, and I thought Tulane was tonight as well. I mean, he needs to vary up the cadence a little bit, and that's probably something they're not focusing on. They're trying to get good reads, and they got more fundamental stuff they're working on. But
yeah,
he could help his line by doing that a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sitting on the couch, so I can't tell any of that. So, but yeah, I'm not mad at Bo at all. I think
No.
I think if Bo were in Landry Jones' system, he'd be putting up 400 yards. I think if Graham Harrell were coaching Bo, he'd be putting up 400 yards.
Well, Bo's going to be good. They just need to get their run game situated a little bit better, and I think it's going to give him better opportunities. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
So what's going on with you, Power Man? How you been?
I'm good.
Your trip to let's see, you stayed the night in Shreveport a couple of nights ago, right?
Yeah. So we went out to Dallas. We drove out there. We stayed in Fort Worth, and then we went to the game, and then Sunday we went to the Fort Worth Zoo and had a good time there. Good zoo, and then drove to Shreveport that evening. Spent the night in Shreveport, and then came on home.
Yeah, okay. Were you planning to drive out there, or were you going to fly and then you got canceled?
No. I was going to fly on Delta Sky Miles, but they blacked out all the good flights. So I planned on driving anyway, and I like a good road trip. So we were driving anyway.
Was Shreveport good to you?
No, it wasn't. It's terrible.
Okay, I won't go there.
There was a bunker poster that said I should have stayed in Rushton, and I'd never heard of it, didn't know what it was. And when I drove about 30 minutes down the road on Monday morning, and I saw Rushton, that's where La Tech is. I said, "Yep, that's where I should have stayed."
It's Ruston. There's no H, but I get it.
Okay.
I get it.
My bad.
I get it. I've been there. I've been to Ruston. I've been to Grambling, and it ain't much there.
Yeah.
Well, Power Man,
probably a Buffalo Wild Wings, which there's not in Shreveport.
I want you to know that I value you as a poster, and I'm glad you're part of the AuburnSports.com family.
Good deal, and much better than Fig Jam, right?
Yeah, definitely. Until Fig Jam calls.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
See you, bro. We love Power Man, no doubt. We definitely love Power Man. I know I'm kind of live on the show right now, so I don't know how to turn those notifications off. I will figure that out by the time we get out on the next show. I'm over here drinking my Weller Antique 107. I've got it here. I don't know if you guys who have been here the whole time, I don't know how much I've had of that, but it's been good to me. And like a responsible bourbon drinker that I am, of course I have my water with me. So it's all good. Power Man again mentioned that he had to stay the night in Shreveport. He passed along pictures on the bunker, and we were all horrified that he had to stay in Shreveport. But, sometimes it happens like that. I think it was great that he was able to make the trip happen, even though his flight got canceled, and he still got to the game. That's what it's the important stuff there. Okay, so coming in from earlier, and we went through the bad things that I noticed from the game. I want to go through some of the good things here. The defense was really good on third down. I mentioned this at the top of the show. Tulane finished 2 of 15 from on third down. That's insane. I don't know as though Auburn's had a game like that. I can't remember covering an Auburn game where the opponent was that bad. 2 of 15 on third down is incredible. I thought Roger McCreary is really good. I've mentioned this on the show last week, but I do want to say again that my friend Al Pogue, who used to be, I guess he was a GA here, an analyst. He is now working. He went to Troy, and now he's at West Virginia. I know they had a tough loss today, but he guaranteed me that Roger McCreary would be a player here. He recruited Roger McCreary to Troy back when they were at Troy, and guaranteed me that kid would be awesome. We'll go ahead and take this call. I do have more good things to talk about. Welcome to the show, caller. How you doing?
Hello, Mr. Lee. I am calling you about your current warranty on your automobile.
I know that's bullshit because my car's old, yo.
Okay, first off, that was not Ornamania. For one, I know he is in post-op recovering right now.
He's in post-op at 12:21 a.m. Central Time?
Well, I mean, when you want to get it whacked off, you get it whacked off.
Who have I got here on the phone?
Hornatius.
Like, actually?
Yeah.
So was that an imposter earlier? Who was that?
No, that was Ornamania.
Oh, okay. How you doing,
That
bro?
little brother. So I just have a general question.
Yeah.
Do you think Gus is stupid and has overachieved in his career, or
No.
he is smart and has underachieved in his career?
I don't think he's stupid at all. I don't think he's dumb. I don't think he's a dumb person. I think he just gets into weird ruts.
Mental.
Well, I mean, I guess that's kind of where the ruts start, right? But I think he kind of, I think he gets these ideas about what his team is and what it can do, and then sometimes that doesn't match what the reality is. That's what I would say.
Man, I just have a hard time believing he is able to guide a program the level of Auburn.
No, look, man. I don't know if he's going to be awesome. He's been awesome before. But I don't know. How can we come to these conclusions after the win against Tulane? I mean, really, come on, dude.
Well, I mean, it's the overall body of work. I mean, everybody gets lucky once or twice.
I don't know about that. I mean,
you could win a national championship calling plays for Cam Newton.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, that's my point.
Yeah, but I mean, he's been solid. He's had
where this is going to go with Gus.
He's been solid. I mean, he hasn't been totally shitty. It's just that 2017 season, everybody was really fired up because they were in perfect position to get something done, and they rode carry on too much, and they just couldn't finish it off.
Fool's gold.
You think the whole thing is fool's gold, really? You think it's pyrite?
I mean, it's not there. I just don't think it's there. Not with Gus.
Okay, well.
I just don't think he has the mentality to lead a top-tier program.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, dude. If you want to get rid of him, it's going to cost you $28 million. What do you think about that?
Not costing me shit.
That's true. That is absolutely true. But somebody's got to pay him $28 million, though, brother.
Yeah. I mean, whoever talked him into the contract.
Yeah. You gonna get Leaf to pay that up, bro?
The people that talk Leaf into it.
I don't know if there's people for that.
Well,
I don't know.
All right, man. Have a good night.
Appreciate you, brother.
Love the tips.
See you, man. I had a feeling that wasn't Hornatius earlier because Hornatius was allegedly posting in the thread in our chat here on YouTube, and then he was allegedly on the phone as well. So I had a feeling something wasn't up with that. Anyway, let's see if we got anything else here on the chat. Oh, I want to get to the good stuff. Again, I didn't get to finish that. I keep getting these calls, and it's pissing me off. I think Doc Dumpster's either gone to sleep on me or he's out with a Philly, out getting his thing done. You think I should take this one? I'll take it. It's a 334 call. What's going on, caller? How you doing?
Jay.
What up?
Harvey.
Hey, what up, Harvey? How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. What's going on with
Why do you have a 334 phone number?
Yeah, I'm a 334 guy.
Are you really?
Yeah.
How come when I hang out with you, it's always in Birmingham?
Well, I mean, when you're from the 334, you don't change to 205 just because you move.
Is that true?
You keep the 334.
Where are you from, bro?
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So everybody has just kind of gone on and on. The offense is terrible.
Hold on. Hey, before you get going,
I'll give you a secret. I don't know anything about football.
Harvey.
I just fake it. When
Listen
I'm
to
on
me.
the bunker.
Listen to me, Harvey.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that this is really you. Okay, you ready? I'm going to ask you a question. Where's the last time I talked to you? Where were we at?
That place where Stretch organized the lunch.
All right, continue. It is Harvey.
Can't remember the name of it now. Soho.
Soho, exactly. Yes.
Anyways, everybody's covered all the points. I don't really know that much about football. I just kind of fake it when I'm on the bunker, like probably 95% of the people do anyways.
Yeah.
So if Gus was a defensive-minded coach, like Muschamp, we'll give him that, would we like him more than we do?
Probably
you
not.
See what I'm getting at? It felt like Tuberville had games like this where he would win like 24-6 or 31-10 against a bad team, and it felt like we weren't mad after the loss. But that's because he was a defensive guy. It's something about Gus has actually fixed the defense, which to me was the harder thing for him to do. But somehow he can't figure out the side of the ball that he actually knows how to coach.
Well, I think he lets Kevin do what he does.
Use our opinion of him.
I think he lets Kevin kind of do his thing, and Kevin does the defense, and he's doing a hell of a job. I think we would all agree, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
you got to give him credit for it, though. I mean, he's the head coach.
Yeah, he made a good hire, and he stays out of his way.
I just wonder if we. Yeah, I just wonder, have we gone too far with our? I don't know the right word for it. Just do we rip him so much that it's just because he's an offensive guy, and we think that the offense has to be clicking on all cylinders at all times because of that, while completely forgetting, like, hey, he's built us up having a top-tier defense, and whether that's staying out of the way or whatever, I don't know. I'm not necessarily trying to give him credit. I just feel like we've kind of gone off the rails when, yeah, it was a bad game, but, I mean, we held a team to 6 points, which is pretty legit in the grand scheme of things.
Oh, yeah. And I bet you Tulane scores a lot of points this year. I do. I mean, they play in a shitty league, but they're a pretty good little team, I think. Your point's a good one. You're asking if Tuberville did this kind of stuff, was there hell being raised back then? And I don't remember that. But we also weren't in the social media era where everybody's got a hot take, and I feel like the expectations are just like ridiculously high for everybody now, Gus included.
You're right. Hey, I've got 2 quick points, and then I'll hop off because
yes, sir.
I want to let someone else join if they want to. One, it's hilarious that people are talking about why are we throwing the deep pass to Schwartz. My wife sitting beside me at the game tonight, actually, as we threw it, were like, why in the world are we throwing it to somebody that has a cast on their arm?
Fair question.
I just thought that was funny that she noticed it like immediately. Obviously, not someone that would typically point out something like that. The other one, do you think that Gus uses the sideline too much in his his routes? It seems like he just wants to always work off the sideline for some reason. And I think back to like the 2017 Iron Bowl, it felt like he was, whether it's him or Chip Lindsey, was just shredding the middle of the field, and it was killing it. But now I just feel like he's gone back to these kind of, I don't know, just staying outside the hashes. And I don't know. Like I said, I don't really know much about football. It just seems kind of like he's limiting Nix and the type of throws that he's allowing him to do. And I just feel like Nix can be a little more versatile with the stuff he does.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to Gus about this the other day, and he says he just runs the stuff that Bo says he feels best about, and the numbers in practice show that he's good at. So if he's throwing wide, I interpret that as that's what Bo is best at, and that's what Bo feels comfortable throwing. Now, when you look at last year, maybe that's what Jarrett thought was comfortable to throw. I don't know. They did throw a little bit over the middle of the field today, though. I mean, they hit Will for the touchdown, which is down a seam. Now, I know it was a busted coverage, but it was down the middle. And they were running some crossing concepts, too. So, I don't know. I think it's a little overdone, my opinion.
You may be right.
Harvey?
We left after the third quarter. So maybe I was just kind of like, I'm just tired of this, and just kind of stopped paying attention to what was happening.
Why did you leave early?
Hey, man, good show. I've enjoyed it. Keep up the good work.
All right, Harvey, you be good out there, bro.
Yeah, man. Talk to you later.
So, yeah. Just curious to see what he thought about anyway. We love Harvey. I thought Harvey kind of shat upon me at one point in his bunker career, and I told him how I felt about it, and he gave me a very honest explanation, and I'm good with it. Let's see what else we got here in the chat. Oh, no, hold on. We still got some good stuff. Defense was really good on third down. McCreary was really good. Igbenogany was really good. They were actually trying to pick on him a little bit in the first half, and I was like, what? Did you not learn anything from the Oregon game? He was targeted 4 times, and they gave up 2 receptions, and they were wimpy. They still tried to mess with Igbenogany, and he wasn't having it. So there's my complete list of things that went really well. We got a call coming in from an area code that I don't recognize, so we'll take it. What's going on, caller? How you doing?
I'm doing excellent. How about yourself?
I'm drinking this Weller Antique 107 and just kind of enjoying myself. Are you an AuburnSports.com subscriber?
I am. Shug 1957. I don't post as often as I probably should, but always on the board and listening. I appreciate what you guys do.
Oh, man, I'm glad to have you, bro. How you doing, Shug?
I'm doing good. I'm drinking a little Booker's.
Ooh.
Relaxing after the game. I'm actually in Baton Rouge, so
What?
surrounded a bunch of LSU and Tulane fans, but enjoying our win tonight, even though it wasn't what I thought it would be.
Are you down there because of work, or are you just chilling?
No, I'm down there because of work. I live in Baton Rouge.
Oh,
I live
word.
just outside of Baton Rouge, between New Orleans and Baton Rouge. So,
Word. All right. So,
yeah.
what's your big takeaway from this game, man?
It's frustration. It's like any Auburn fan that has ever played football or pays any attention. I disappointed with the offensive line, disappointed with our running backs, and I understand that Williams had an injury.
Yeah.
But Booby fumbled 3 times, and I do not understand what's going on. Still to this day, I would give anything to be able to sit down with Malzahn and have some truth serum and say, listen, you need a running quarterback to run the offense Malzahn wants to run. And I love Bo Nix, and I think he can be a great quarterback. And if his name was Bo Smith, he wouldn't be at Auburn. But I'm really frustrated with the offensive line that we have because it's not good, and the lack of running backs that we have because they're not good either. I'd love to have Bo Nix with a stud offensive line and a bunch of great tailbacks and be able to run the ball for 250 yards every game and not have to worry about anything. And now we've got Seth Williams hurt, maybe out for the season. Now Hastings is banged up. Who knows when Schwartz is going to be back and healthy. Eli Stove is not the same Eli Stove before the injury, even though he's a very good wide receiver. I just think when we get into A&M, LSU, Georgia, Alabama, we're not going to be able to put up points, and we're wasting a generational defense. And I really think it is. I think it's a generational defense that we have right now, and I think we're going to waste it.
I understand where you're coming from. It's like the defense is completely ready for prime time, and the offense is still just kind of coming together. I get it. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you find any fault in Bo Nix at this point?
No, I think he's a freshman quarterback. I mean, my goodness, I don't think we can expect any more than what we have with a true freshman quarterback right there. People want to point to Clemson last year, but they had an unbelievable offensive line, stud tailbacks, and wide receivers who could catch anything you threw to them within 5 feet. We don't have that.
Nah, right now.
So when people expect Bo Nix to be Peyton Manning, I think that's asinine. Bo Nix has been a very, very good freshman quarterback through 2 games.
Yeah.
We do not have consistent play at the wide receiver position. We have terrible play at the offensive line. And running back, I don't know what we're doing. I love Booby. I'm glad that he's at Auburn. But, my gosh, he had 3 fumbles tonight. I don't understand why he is the number one without getting anybody else involved. Maybe Harold Joyner in practice can't run the football. Maybe Sean Shivers can't run the football. They insinuated tonight that DJ was hurt. All right, that's fine. Cam Martin's last name should be Cam Martin, and 0 carries on that. He's not an SEC tailback.
He's okay.
That's all Malzahn. I mean, it is.
Well, I understand where you're coming from, and I think your point on the generational defense versus this offense is kind of in an incubator right now. I think it's a good point. Shug, I appreciate you being part of what we do here, bro.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you letting me talk to you. I'm glad you're doing this, and I hope it continues, and have a good night.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir. Have a good
Well, I didn't mean to cut you off there at the end there, but anyway, appreciate that. B-Matt, I was texting with B-Matt earlier, and I think we'll be able to get him on here. He was just finishing up some ancillary background. We'll call it deep background work. I decided to stay back tonight so we could do the show. I can't do the show like this from Jordan-Hare because there's too much equipment here. I've got a mixer, I've got a sound processor, I've got these lights, I've got the video camera, got my computer. These are things that I can't replicate. Some of them I can, and some of them I can't from Jordan-Hare. And I really wanted to be able to do the show like for real. Because I think it's something that you guys like to do, and I love having a forum for the bunker to be able to call in and talk a little bit. So, but BMAT, sometimes when I'm at the stadium, I'm able to kind of talk to some folks, call some folks, talk to folks. You know, the coaches go back to the complex after the game because a lot of them are just crazy about. They want to see the film, and there's particular plays that they have in their mind that they really want to see. So they go back and look at it, and then I can talk to them after that and kind of get their input. And a lot of times the things that I write in my columns and on the bunker are based on things that I've heard from coaches and whatnot. So, yeah, it's good. BMAT's been doing some of that behind the scenes stuff. But I know it is kind of late. Let's see, we're at 12:37 Central Time. 1:38 in the Eastern Time Zone. And we have been taping for 1 hour and 49 minutes. Let's see. Love the cats. I think that's maybe a moniker. Says this show is the greatest thing since the Jimpty Ticket Exchange Board. Uh-huh. Mr. Dog says, I feel like I didn't see as much eye candy. Stove or Schwartz need to be coming across the field every play. I'd like for you to expound on that a little bit. I think I understand where you're coming from, but I don't want to put words in your mouth. Mike says, best show on the interwebs. You're very, very kind to say that. We are getting better. And a lot of those daggone prompts were coming up where you guys hear like the ringtone. I got to get that turned off, I know. Work on that. Harnemania says, I enjoy the show. This is my favorite live video bunker show. That's great. It makes me feel good. It's the only one. Yay. You know who this is. This is the one and the only B-Matt. Brian Matthews, what up, bro?
What's up, man?
You are live on the show right now.
Oh, that was quick. Hello.
How have you been doing, bro?
I've been doing fine. Are there a lot of people still listening in to our show?
I would imagine. I don't have any really a way right now to see what the numbers are, but
okay.
I think it's good. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people posting.
Right.
And they want to know why you like Liverpool because they suck. Nah, I'm just teasing. Nobody said that.
Oh, 12 out of 12. That's all I can say.
Hey, so you asked Gus about DJ?
I think I did, or somebody did. I'm pretty sure it was me. But he said that he got a little banged up on Tuesday, so he wasn't available today. I think he said he wasn't available. I think that was the quote.
Damn. What do you think happened on that?
That's why he didn't play.
You think he got hurt, really?
I don't think Gus would say he got banged up if he didn't get banged up.
Okay.
He would just say something like, we just couldn't get him in or something like that. You know how he is.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
What are your general thoughts about that game, man? I mean, because from my perspective, it was basically shitty, but they won the game and they got enough done, and defensively they were good enough.
Well, yeah, the defense was really good again. And I don't think that was an easy matchup with that quarterback who was really mobile, and could hurt them different ways. So I thought the defense played great. I think that offensive line has a lot of work to do. I thought they'd be better than this, to be honest with you. And I know that, Oregon did some things they weren't expecting, and Tulane did some things they weren't expecting, and they tried to force them to throw the ball. But this is a veteran offensive line, and they should be able to make these adjustments better. It shouldn't take them a whole half to figure things out.
Agreed.
I just, maybe that's not on the offensive line. Maybe some of that is coaches adjusting, but they're not physical enough. They're not bringing it to the other team enough. I'm just a little disappointed in them, to be honest. And I just think I do think the offense can get a lot better, but I didn't see a whole lot of steps forward tonight, to be honest with you.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, can you fix, from what you saw from the offensive line tonight, is that fixable?
Well, I think a lot of it was just being outnumbered in the box sometimes, and sometimes just, not leaving guys unblocked that should have been picked up by somebody. I just thought a lot of it was more execution and stuff than necessarily just getting whipped, although that happens too. a lot more than it should.
Yeah.
And I think teams are going to see what Oregon and now Tulane have done, and they're going to copy that. So that's something Auburn's going to have to really, really work on. But the other issue I see on offense is the receiver position. Just really not an impressive group right now to me at all. Although they did catch the ball a lot better than I expected them to.
Yeah.
I mean, Sal had a catch. Shanker had a catch. A few guys got in there and got a catch. Seth made a great catch when he got hurt. I would imagine he's going to be out for a little while now. I mean, he fell right on that shoulder. Was in a sling on the sidelines. So I think it's some sort of degree of separation. And we probably won't see him for a little while. Well, Hastings was okay to come back in. So he's fine. We talked to him afterwards. But, and I guess Anthony Schwartz will be back soon. That'll help out a lot. I'm not sure what they were thinking, throwing a deep pass to him and having him try to dive and catch it.
Yeah, right.
They wanted to have to dive for it, but still.
Yeah.
I just don't know that he's ready for that yet.
And what about the rotation at tailback? It was pretty much Booby and Cam, and that's it. Do you think there was room for more?
I think there's a problem there. First of all, Booby has not really progressed a whole lot to me. I see him being more patient, but I also see him just not really reading things well, not seeing things well at times. It doesn't seem like he's making the plays you'd want for a number one SEC running back right now. So that concerns me because I don't think anybody else that is playing right now is really a every down SEC tailback. I thought DJ had that potential, but I haven't really seen that. So that's just me making an assumption there. But now he's banged up and slowing his development some more. So I'm pretty concerned about the offense and the skill positions right now. I don't like the depth at receiver. I don't think they're playing particularly well overall, and I'm really concerned about the running back position now.
Yeah, but defensively, you think they balled out, didn't they?
I think so, yeah. I mean, Tulane made some plays, but that's going to happen to any offense, and they put up some big numbers coming in this game, and Auburn really shut them down on third down. They managed to get pretty good pressure on them. I know Tulane had some good runs here and there, but I think overall the defense played really, really well.
Yeah. Kevin Steele's got to feel good about third down. 2 of 15, Brian.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
That's pretty good. All right, so B-Matt, appreciate you giving us some time on the show, bro. And we got your back tomorrow, yo.
What's been is it mostly negative, the feedback so far on the game?
I would say mostly negative, yeah. Frustrated by the tailback situation and frustrated by the defense being good and the offense just kind of sucking, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what you would expect, right?
Yeah. That's the way I felt about it. Yeah.
Hey, so you got a bid day tomorrow, is that right?
Yes, we'll be at Montebello.
Do you do you have an idea like what's going to go down there?
I do, and I think y'all could be very happy. Let's put it that way.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Go into specifics, but I think that's the way it's leaning right now.
All right, good. That's what I like to hear.
So, yep.
I like it when the Matthews children get what they need,
There you go.
All right, B-Matt, you be good out there, bro.
All right, man. We'll see you.
See you, man. Bye. All right, there you go. You got B-Matt. So that's the second thing. So the first thing I promised you guys on your suggestions from the bunker the other day was that we would get a podcast, and you're definitely going to get a podcast. We are now 1 hour and 57 minutes into this show, so it's going to be a 2-hour podcast if you guys want to listen to that. Second thing was, no, I'm not taking a call right now, was that we'd get B-Matt and Jay Lee on the show, which we did. We had Jay Lee was our first call, and B-Matt we just had. So that's 2. And there was a third one, and I don't remember what it was. There was a third really good suggestion, and I forgot what it was. Actually, there were 4 good ones, now that I remember. I actually started a thread on the bunker about it. This might be a good time to tell you guys, nope, not doing it, that if you're not a subscriber to auburnsports.com, you need to be. auburnsports.com is a great spot for you to get your Auburn intel. I am there. My name is Jay Tate. I am publisher of auburnsports.com. You know that because you can see that in the video pane right there, JG Tate. I wonder why DJ Williams didn't play. I actually made that before the game started, or actually before the game ended. I now have an answer because DJ was hurt. That's what Gus said. But anyway, you can see I'm the publisher of auburnsports.com, and Brian Matthews, our ace team reporter, Jeffrey Lee, our ace recruiting reporter, and Nate King, who is an intern for us, but he's been outstanding, kind of helping us with team coverage, and he's going to do a lot of basketball stuff too. And when basketball season picks up, we're definitely going to be doing shows as well. I am from I was born in Kentucky, and I went to college in Kentucky, and I really, really give a shit about basketball. I love football too. I just kind of grew up. I grew up in a family of 2 Louisville graduates, and so I grew up with basketball, and I pay a lot of attention to basketball. So we'll do that too when that stuff comes up. We got to figure out for next week how to turn those off. I mean, it's cool that they come in, but I don't want you guys to have to hear that stuff. Brad Easterwood says, we want Doc. Dude, I texted him earlier. I was actually talking with him earlier, like 2 hours ago, and he was definitely good to go. And then I texted him at 11:41, which is about an hour ago, and I haven't heard back. So Doc's either out with a Philly or maybe he got into the Cat Head or the Weller, whatever it is. We'll take this call from 615. What's up? How you doing? Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Doing fine. How are you?
Good. Are you an AuburnSports.com subscriber?
I am.
What's your handle?
CARDEJA12.
Yeah. What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Just want to brag. I had a girl just leave the house after a big win. We had some Prosecco. It was great.
Did you drink a bunch?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, okay. I have been drinking my fair share.
Pretty standard on a Saturday.
Yeah, I mean that's the way it should be, I think.
Sorry.
Thoughts on the game?
Going ahead. What the heck is going on with the refs? And I don't think we have a pass rusher with a damn that's every down edge rusher, but our defense line is very solid. What is going on with the massive takedowns? Like Marlon Davidson had one on a 3rd and 11 conversion that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the Oregon guys were doing it too, and I mean, I don't want to blame the refs on everything because I think we've got much bigger problems, but I'm getting sick of it because, I mean, our D-line guys are just getting tugged to the ground.
Well, I would just probably say that the refs are kind of shitty.
I'm not crazy, though, too. I mean, I'm not that big of a homer where I can't see it both ways.
I get it.
I mean, are you seeing it, too?
Well, here's the thing that gets me. So my friend Jason Caldwell, who writes for Inside the Auburn Tigers, I'm not supposed to discuss him because he's the competition, but he's like a brother to me. He shows me like 5 pictures a week where like an Auburn defensive lineman's being like held with 2 hands by somebody, and I'm like, why don't they ever call that? And I don't have a good answer for that.
Yeah, I'm just getting sick. It happened in the Oregon game a couple times, but there was one that was just crazy. Maybe you'll see it later, but Marlon Davidson was double teamed and it was a takedown.
Well, I'll keep an eye out for it.
Ridiculous. Yeah, so I'm getting a little sick of that.
Yeah, well,
because I don't want to talk about offense. I'd rather talk about defense because offense is just beyond my scope at this point in the night.
And defense is good. I mean, the Auburn defense right now, they're playing really good.
Our secondary is legit. Roger McQuarrie face guards too much. McQuarrie needs to look back for the ball sometimes, but Noah's turned into a straight baller, I think, and he's got an attitude, and I love it.
Yeah.
And we don't have a pass rush, legit, but we're going to wear an offensive line down, I think, with our front eventually, and we'll get some sacks. Our linebackers are moving. So I love our defense. I just hope we get it in gear. I don't know what. Again, it was late in the game, but what about Gatewood? I mean, he was moving the ball, doing his thing, and we're not throwing it great. We're throwing it a lot compared to the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But is Gatewood actually, obviously come in and run it differently? But man, I'm not sure. With us not our receivers and our receivers down, if Gatewood's not actually the play, and I don't know where anybody else sits, but I'm sure I'm not alone there thinking that's not a crazy idea.
No, you're definitely not alone on that. But I also know Gus, and you know Gus, and he sticks with his guys that he loves, and he loves some Bo Nix now.
Sure, I
And
get it.
I understand where he's coming from. I think Bo's going to be really good. The fact that he's just a passable player right now at his age is incredible. I mean, I think.
I agree. I agree.
And he is a passable player. He's a decent quarterback right now. That's great.
He is. He is. I'm excited he's there. Just still not sure that Bo is. I mean, that Gatewood isn't who we need right now, and Bo we are going to need later.
Yeah.
But whatever. I think that's probably everybody's conundrum.
Yeah. I think that's just kind of like the theme tonight is that, defense is really good and the offense still trying to put it together.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope our offense comes around the clicks because our defense is absolutely playing well. Again, we're not getting the sacks, getting some turnovers, but I mean, you can't really throw on us and you can't run all night on us, especially if we don't leave our defense out there and get gassed. But
yeah.
They're going to stop. We're going to make stops, as they have done already, clearly.
Yeah.
It's a weird year, I think, right now.
I know. It's like, are they good or are they not? I don't know. Maybe they could be good. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like it's absolutely an anomaly right now, and we do start slow, but we do then gain momentum. But in the fumbles hurt tonight from Booty, but I don't think that's going to be an issue going forward.
I don't know, man. He fumbled a lot last year too.
I thought he fumbled early, and then he was pretty lockbox. It was kind of like from the program carrying around the campus. Nobody knocks your ball out.
Yeah.
Where you run, and I felt like he shut it down. I mean, kind of after like his mom made him do push-ups. So
yeah, that's good stuff.
I don't know. I'm like some of the other guys on here that have called in. I'd love to see some of the younger talent get more touches though too.
Well, there's some guys that I feel that way about too, but you're not crazy for that.
Yeah. Well, either way, I was just calling in.
All right, Kadea. You be good.
Appreciate you taking the call.
Be good.
You too. Later.
See ya, man. Let's call him Cardea. That's what I always see it as when I'm on the show. I'm probably going to take one more call. This might be the last one. Uh-oh, I've got two. Let's take this one. This will be the last call, I think. What's going on, caller? How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
What's the latest?
Oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. What's going on?
Are you an AuburnSports.com subscriber?
You're GD right, I am.
Who are you?
DeWar Eagle Kine.
Hey, what up, man?
Oh, just trying to figure out what the hell's going on with Auburn football this year. What about you?
I'm drinking and I'm listening to other people talk about that. Yeah, that's kind of what I do.
Yeah, I'm doing basically the same thing, except a little bit earlier here out in Honolulu. It's only about 7:55 in the PM.
Where are you at?
Jay. Sorry?
Where are you at?
Honolulu, Hawaii, man.
Oh my God, I had no idea you were out there.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to figure out, Jay, what the heck is going on with this offense, man? What is is Bo Nix? Is he wasted at Auburn? Because that's kind of what it feels like to the casual observer. Kid's got a ton of talent. He's incredibly accurate, but it just feels like without a true dual threat, inverted veer power option type running guy, like we don't have anything going on.
I don't know, man. I think he's been decent. I mean, and they just need better blocking. I really believe Bo's pretty good. That's how I see it.
I
Anyway.
kind of think so too. Yeah, I think he's just wasted at Auburn right now. I mean, you put him in at a pro style scheme, and I think the kid's gonna light the world on fire. But here we are at Auburn University trying to run a zone read offense without a guy that can run the zone read. I'm questioning the validity of that decision. You know what I mean?
No, I get where you're coming from, but I think he can run the zone read. Is Gus willing to let him do that? That's the question.
What do you think he's hesitant just because he's young, and Gus has that tendency to sort of try to build trust with his guys, and only wants to let his chosen ones do the important roles?
I think he just doesn't want Bo to get hurt. I mean, dude, Bo can run the read option. I know this. I've seen it happen, and he did it against Oregon. But it seemed like he was they didn't run as many of those kinds of plays against Tulane, and maybe they're going to run more of that against A&M. I don't know, but.
Yeah. Well,
and Joey,
defense is only going to be so good. I mean, I don't think they're going to be able to keep us in enough games this year Tulane's one thing, scored 24 points against Tulane and 28 points against Oregon, but that's not going. We're not going to be able to score that many against Bama and Georgia. You can see the plays as you're watching the game. You're like, well, that wouldn't work against SEC competition, but we're going to get away with it now. Week 1 against Oregon or week 2 against Tulane. It's just, I don't know, man. I think we're in for another 7-5 this year, Jay.
Oh no! How dare you condemn this team like that, bro?
I hate to do it. Well, I tell you what, Jay. I love what you guys do at auburnsports.com. Best site on the internet. It's the best money I spend every year. Love the bunker. Even all the goons that are on there. Shout out to Eagle and Archie, those guys. But I really appreciate what you guys do and love this show, man. Look forward to calling in again.
All right, appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, man. Have a good one.
See ya. I knew I wanted to take that call. I knew he's from an area code that I didn't recognize. It was 808. So I didn't know that. He called a few times too. Appreciate that. We're probably going to wrap it up on that one. I love getting calls from Hawaii, bro. That's pretty cool. All right, so we are now 2 hours and 10 minutes into the show, at least as far as when I started taping, and it's 12:58 Central Time. Almost 2 o'clock in the Eastern Time Zone. I've gone through all the things that I thought were good and all the things that I thought were bad. I think we pretty much discussed it all here. If there's anything here I missed, let's see. I'm still just baffled by the 2nd and 2. And they run the 2 tight end. I wrote it down as a shift. I guess it was kind of a, where they had Shanker and Nye coming across the formation. And obviously Gus had thought that was a really brilliant call. And so he runs it on 2nd and 2. They get nothing. He runs the same call again on 3rd and 2, gets nothing. And then 4th and 1, he runs it again and it ends up being a fumble. I don't know. I don't know what he was thinking on that. Like I said, I think I said in like the first hour, he just gets these ideas that my team is going to do X. And even if the team can't do that, he's like, I'm just going to make it so they can. But they can't. I think this team's going to end up having to throw the ball around. And I don't know. I mean, I think Bo can throw the ball. Don't get me wrong. But as a true freshman, he's going to make mistakes that are going to drive you guys crazy. He's going to drive Gus crazy. And you're just going to have to be patient with him. I don't know. Let's see what's going on with the chat here. I've had to kind of get away from that, taking some of the calls, but I've turned the calls off for the moment. Chris Martin says it's the first time in the bunker. Dude, it can be rough in there. Don't worry about that. It'll be okay. Love the Cats, who I think I think that's a moniker. I don't think that's really who that is. Says y'all need to give Jimpty some love. He is misunderstood. I don't think that's true. Jimpty is the guy that it seems he may have welched on some money that he owes another bunker member, and I'm not very happy about it. But I think Jimpty has disappeared. I will say that I think a member, I know this happened, a member sent me a picture of who he believed was Jimpty's wife. And I don't know why these pictures are going around, guys. You guys are dirty people. You're bad people for sending around pictures of a guy's wife. They were not compromising pictures. They were just pictures of a girl. But, whatever. I don't know why anybody would send those around. You guys are crazy. Mike says, we're going for 4 hours. Let's do it. I cannot go 4 hours. I just can't do it. It's 1 a.m. Central. And I've been drinking this Weller, the Weller Antique 107. I was kind of saving this for like a special day. But, I mean, it's a special day being able to be part of this with you guys. I appreciate you guys being here with us this late in the night. Dope says, you missed the part where you say Gus was bought out of his contract. Hadn't happened yet, brother. Lewis says, JG, last question. I think Lewis is running out of steam. He said, if I were a tree, what kind of a tree would I be? I'm tired of being an amoeba. Well, you wouldn't be a sequoia because you're not tall. So I would say that you would be a live oak. And live oaks are nice to look at. They're fine trees. But once a hurricane comes, they're going to fall over. They're going to play dead. I'm not trying to say anything serious about it, but, I'm not trying to go deep with it or anything like that. Hornamania, third hour, expect interviews of Marcelo and all the assistant coaches. It would be kind of funny to call Brandon. Hey, man, you want to come on my show? He probably wouldn't come on. I'm not that tight with Brandon. I like Brandon. But I don't know if he want to come on the show. I hope I'm not breaking any rules here, but I tried to got that last little sip of Weller there. And those of you who have not been watching the show, I've been drinking this Weller Antique. Whoa, wrong one. I bought this at Charred Oak Spirits in Auburn. It's over near the Louis on Shug Jordan. Brandon. So I was actually talking to Brandon at spring meetings, which is in Sandestin, about doing a show with him. I was going to do a podcast with Brandon. And, well, we're not doing it. So you draw your own conclusions about that one. But I like Brandon. He's a smart guy. Good reporter. Let's see. Gus is an Jimmy thing says, and it's Jimmy, I'm sorry, man. I got your name wrong earlier. I didn't hear what you said, and that's my fault. Jimmy said Gus is an automation. He has a pre-recorded instruction that he will follow. Come on, man. That's not very nice. War Eagle Bart says another great campfire, Jay. Coming back to the Habatten days, I used to call them campfires. We would do like these group chats. This was like 06, 07, 08. On Thursday nights after Tiger Talk, we'd have campfires. It was good stuff, man. Dope says we better blow out Kent State or Gus on the chopping block. Not sure about that, but and I would imagine they're gonna tear Kent State up. In fact, I'm wondering if I even need to do a show next week. I kind of miss my friends that I see at the games. This is the first time I haven't been to an Auburn home game since 2005, so that's 14 years. First time I have not gone to an Auburn home game. My grandma died the week of the Ball State game. That was the game, and here's the bitch of it. I mean, I miss my grandma terribly because she was like she's almost like a mother to me. But that was, you guys know who have known me for a long time. You knew I was a big Tristan Davis fan. I always had Tristan's back. I thought Tristan was an outstanding player. I just felt like Auburn used him incorrectly. That was the one game. It was against Ball State in 2005 that he went off. And I wasn't there to see it and write about it. It was terrible. That's the first home game I've missed, this one, since 2005. So, anyway. Let's see what else we got here. Lewis says, I'll tell my chick it's an oak. That's not what I said. I said live oak. Oh, man. Chris says, would you like the Tennessee coach? Nobody on earth wants the Tennessee coach right now. They're 0-2 for the first time since 88, and they were terrible in 88. Lewis says, name the bunker on the bunker right now after the show. Bring your butts. I don't know what you mean. How about Florida State, Chris says? Florida State is a mess. They did end up beating ULM today because ULM missed an extra point in overtime. I don't know if you guys care because I know most of you guys don't like Neil, but Neil went to ULM. He has a graduate degree from ULM. He's very proud of it. Matthew Harrell says, get Allie to fill in. You know what? I never even thought about getting Allie on the show. That's a great idea. I bet you Allie would have a lot of opinions. We love Allie. Alexandra is a really, really... We miss Alexandra being around. She had a lot of energy, and she has a lot of positivity about her. We saw her at Rod and Paula's funeral. Me and B-Matt did, and it was awesome to see her again. And we think a lot of Allie. We also think a lot of all of our former interns. Just thinking about that. We got Coleman's doing golf stuff. And Jorge, who wrote for us in 2015, I think, he's now the baseball SID at Auburn. So if you guys ever see George writing stuff for baseball, like press releases and whatnot, George Nunnally, he was with us a long time ago. All right, I'm probably going to wrap this bad boy up. It's 1:06 Central Time, 2:06 in the Eastern Time Zone. Our friend War Eagle Kine, who's out in Hawaii, it's probably like 7 o'clock out there. I wish I was in Hawaii right now. We have officially been taping for 2 hours and 18 minutes. So we're going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much for being part of what we do here at auburnsports.com. We could not do this without you. I know I tell you guys that on the bunker and on the rundown. And you guys are like, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. But I care. I care a lot. Appreciate you guys choosing to spend your time and, I mean, being honest with you, your money with us here at auburnsports.com, and it means a lot. And hope that you guys feel like you're getting a lot out of it. I know B-Matt's got some stuff up. My man Nate, Jay Lee he was the first caller we had tonight. He said he's got some stuff. He's going to come up in the morning. He's got some basketball stuff, some basketball guys to talk to. He had talked to Tank Bigsby tonight, who was at the game. And so he's got that stuff coming as well. So we'll just wrap it up. Appreciate you guys. Those of you who've been here the whole time. The Alpha was one of our first callers. Hornatia's been here a long time. Joseph actually asked, what do you think about Javaris Davis's injury? I don't know the specifics about that. We figured that was going on because Roger McCreary played so much. And I thought he played pretty well, but I don't know the extent of JD's situation. So we'll wrap that up then. Also, Torqued, big shout out to you, bro. Appreciate you being part of the text there. You didn't call in, but that's okay. Nobody's mad. So we'll wrap it up, guys. Appreciate you guys. We will see you. I don't know. I mean, it's to be determined if we're going to do one next week because they're going to play Kent State, and really there's no reason, right? They're going to kill Kent State. It's awesome to see Woody Barrett back. He's the quarterback at Kent State, but that's really pretty much it. So we'll wrap it up there, guys. All right, if you're out there, you know how I do this. You guys are Auburn folks. When you go out there Sunday, you're probably going to be at church, and that doesn't really matter much at church. But when you go to work on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're probably working with people that are not Auburn people. You're having to harmonize with Bammers, LSU people, Georgia people, whoever. And just remember, you guys are badasses. You guys are Auburn folks. You're a cut above. I cannot say that myself because I'm not an Auburn person. I have degrees from Transy and UK. Hey, man. I never even went to Alabama. I never even been in the state of Alabama until I got a job down here. Sorry. It happens. Don't hold it against me. It's not my fault. Till we see you guys again, keep your feet on the ground. Keep reaching for the stars. Peace.